this. And like we had said initially, we had mentioned as well that when you miss a session, you are out of the program. If you're paying $2,500 for a program like this, you will never want to miss any session. And we are going to ensure that we instill that discipline right from now. We instill the discipline right from now. So once again, I'm welcoming you guys to the first session today. I'm excited. Lots of work has been put in place. Terry, can you please volunteer to help put that information in the WhatsApp group, please? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And other people, please kindly put that. Please mute yourself. We had also mentioned to you that you learn to mute yourself when you join the meeting like this. We have instructions which we have shared with you initially, and we would appreciate if you can take to this instruction. Terry, you want to say something? Terry, I think you're muted. I can't hear you. Okay, go ahead, please.
Which information?
Yeah, please put it in the WhatsApp group that once it's past 20 minutes, nobody is going to be accepted into the meeting again, and automatically they've lost their seats in the program. Yeah, we are very disciplined with timing here. And well, someone says, good evening, I trust you're well. What if... Well, that I can't control. You have to ensure you control that, ensure that you're in a very good place. If you're going to probably make that excuse that, oh, what about if I'm kicked out? If I am not kicked out, you will not be kicked out. That's the truth. If I'm not kicked out, you will not be kicked out. Yeah. So that is the instruction. And like I've always mentioned, I said this at the beginning on Tuesday, that we are not big on numbers. So if 280 people were shortlisted, we don't expect 280 people to graduate. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. We don't expect 280 people to graduate. We probably would expect maybe 10% or 30% to graduate. Welcoming you to the first session. I'm excited about this. And our facilitator, Hope, is also excited because we've had conversation a couple of times. And also we spoke today and probably just a few minutes ago. Don't forget that one of the instructions that we have is that everybody must be on video. Yeah, so at some point, in and out, being on video, but nothing stops you on video 100%. These are some of what you have signed up for, if you understand what I mean. So we'd like to know those we are dealing with. We'd like to know if we have spirits or ghosts. Yeah, but I can see our wonderful and beautiful faces, and I'm excited that we can make it here today. Don't forget as well that we'd like you to put in your exact name. We want to see your exact name as you signed up. So there'll be so many things that we'll be dealing with today, and also beyond today. Instructions, we expect you to adhere to instructions. We expect you to participate in class. We also know that some people may not be able to speak, maybe because they are shy. You're free to go ahead to put your question in the chat box. That will be when the session has started. So Comfort will be collating those questions. And at the end of the day, we will probably present the question to the facilitator. First thing we need to quickly introduce, Comfort, can you quickly post the baseline form not in the WhatsApp group. Please post the baseline form here for those who are joined. That baseline is not meant for everybody. If we don't have everyone here, then we cannot post it in the WhatsApp group. So we started weeding already. Okay. That is what it means. We started weeding, and we do weeding every week. So we'll probably finish the program. That is how we get to know those who are serious for this and those who are ready for this. So we had also mentioned that there will be two attendants, and I would not like it to miss those attendants. Those are the ways we are also weeding as well too. Two attendants. We have one attendance for your sign-in, and we have another attendance for your sign-out. That will be 15 minutes to ending the program. Let's get this right. Someone would say, oh, two attendance, 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes, okay, I know what to do. I will do this. So you cannot, because at the end of the day, I mentioned to us that we are responsible to our learning. You can imagine you spending your time to be here, spending your time to fill 11 pages application. And it was intentional for us to make that application 11 pages. We want to see that enthusiasm. We want to see that passion for you to fill. And we want to also appreciate those who took their time to fill the application, because we know that it goes beyond you just filling. We read all the application. We read all. Yes, we read over 400 application, and that's the reason why we know that you really need or probably deserve to be here. And that's the reason why we are happy to have you here. Some videos are not still up. I had money shots. Please, let's turn on our video. It is very, very important. Let's quickly look at some housekeeping information. Some housekeeping information. The first one I'd mentioned that please, Comforts is Comfort. Have you posted it? Please let me know if you
Yes,
posted the
please,
link
I
here.
have. It's in the
Yeah,
chat.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Please, guys, let's quickly run to the chat box here to fill the baseline form. It's very important that we fill this before we start the session today. What's going on with the screen? All right, let's quickly do that. I can't see it. Please, you have to keep posting it here for those who are just joining as well. You have to keep posting it there. We will do this for the next 5 minutes. This is to help us build expectations and also to understand what you are looking forward to for today's session. Okay. We also had mentioned to us initially too that please mute your microphone. Okay. We mentioned to you in the WhatsApp group as well that you are expected to fill a form. That form we ask you to fill is the updated. So we'll keep having updated version of forms that we send to you because we keep weeding. So when we ask you to fill a form, don't get tired. Don't feel tired that these guys are stressing me. It's because we keep weeding till we have the final serious sets in the cohorts. Please, can you mute yourself when you join, please? This was part of the instruction we posted or sent to you on WhatsApp. So like I mentioned, the reason why we keep requesting that you fill a form or keep filling forms is because we want to keep getting an updated version of those that we have here. And the emails that were or the email that was sent out yesterday will not be sent out again from our formal database. We had sent the email to all the emails have been sent to 280 participants that were shortlisted, and we noticed that it's only 250 something that's adjoined. So we want to ensure that we do not send unsolicited email to those people who did not join the WhatsApp group. So now it is very important for us to fill the link that has been posted as at yesterday. So this is what we are doing for those who are just joining. Please look out for a link. Look out for a link in the group, in the chat, I mean. Look out for a link in the chat and ensure that you fill that form. When you are done filling, please let me just see an emoji. Yeah, so that we know. Then I would also request Comfort that you check from the back end to know number of those who are filled so that we know number of people who has filled the baseline form. Okay, for those who are just joining us, thank you so much for joining. And we are happy to have you here. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Julian. Yes, someone said question 11 and 12. The scaling is on 1 to 5, but only option 1 and 5. No scale.
I have been using it. Please, I have a meeting.
Yes, you have a meeting. Can you mute yourself? Okay, Comfort, do you want to address what has been sent, please? Please, let's address that ASAP. The session will begin fully in the next 4 minutes. What we are doing for the first 20 minutes is housekeeping instruction. And I'll repeat myself again that 2 attendances are filled today, the sign in and the sign out. So don't rush out of the group until we are done. And the second part again is that it's very important for you to fill the baseline form that has been sent. Thank you so much, Delayo. The baseline form that has been sent to us. And we would really appreciate everyone fill that, please. Okay, please let the emoji keep coming in. When you are done filling, please let's just see the thumbs up emoji so that we are sure that you filled it. Someone said, I have issues with filling forms from the link. My app closes. Is this the same with every other person? I'm not sure it's the same with every other person. Do you want to try another device? Okay, thank you. Kesena says no. All right. I'm excited. I'm super excited to have everybody here today. And I don't know why I'm so excited. Can someone share the form again? Okay, please, can someone volunteer to share the form again? Yeah, let's have volunteers share the form again. Yeah, thank you for asking. Try copying and paste. Yeah, so, good. Thank you, Kesena. Kesena just mentioned that you should copy and paste. Copy and paste. So we have 3 more minutes to stop taking or accepting people into the class. Terry,
Okay.
can you go back again to let them know that we have 3 more minutes? Yeah, thank you very much. And for those who haven't joined, please let's make that noise to let them know that they have 3 more minutes and that we are going to be very strict with our instructions. Thank you very much. Is this same as the previous form? Oh no, this is not the same form. This is a baseline form. Thank you, Claudia, for answering that. This is a different form. I'd mentioned that we will fill forms regularly. And the reason why we are filling form is for us to be able to probably cut down on people who are not participating. Yeah, so it's our trimming style. And please, if you haven't filled the form that was shared yesterday, kindly do so. If you have not filled the form that was shared yesterday, kindly do so. And for those who are just joining, like I mentioned, we have 2 attendances for today. And the first one will be sent to us while the facilitation is ongoing. And the second one will be posted 15 minutes before the end of the class. I keep seeing Adeleke Gabriel popping over and over again to be accepted in. Adeleke, I hope all is well with you. Okay, all right. So we have 1 more minute to start to begin. And someone said, how long is the session? This program is meant to be 3 hours. We'd mention it in the application form. It's part of what you have committed to when you started applying. Yes, so just to put it out there, 3 hours. All sessions are 3 hours, and we can definitely end before 3 hours, but the allocation is 3 hours. All right. And first and foremost, also, I would like to thank everybody for coming early. Yeah. The class was open about 20 minutes before the time, and people were already waiting in the room, which simply means that we are all looking forward to this session, which is very, very interesting. I like that. And please, guys, like I'd mentioned to us previously, we are all responsible for our learning, and pay attention to keep your questions. One of what I've said for housekeeping as well is at the time when we start the session, some people might not be able to ask questions. Maybe they are shy. Yeah, this is 20 minutes. We will not accept any other person again. Thank you. You might probably be shy. You can go ahead to post your questions in the chat box. Post your question in the chat box. Comfort will be able to help us with the question. You did not tell us to log in about 30. You did not tell us to log in about 30 minutes. Oh, I'd mentioned this. I said you can log in 10 minutes before. Yeah, so logging in 30 minutes or 10 minutes before doesn't matter, but it's just a way to say thank you to those who log in early. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think that will be all for the instructions. Please, can someone help copy and paste the link again to the chat box? For those who are just joining, please ensure you fill the baseline form. ensure you fill the baseline form. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Elias. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. We have amazing people here today, and these are people who are super ready to learn. We are all not putting on our videos. I don't know, maybe you are allergic to putting on videos, but part of what you have signed up for is to ensure that we see you on the screen. Yes, to ensure we see you on the screen. Someone, the storm is laughing. Elias, please take note of those who are not putting on their videos as well. We had mentioned this as part of the instruction. So when we give instruction, we expect every one of us to adhere to instruction. And please don't let us keep repeating those instructions. Please, can someone tell them in the WhatsApp group that we are no more accepting anyone in? We are giving everybody the grace to join in 20 minutes. Someone says, please, I'm sorry, who will miss the Morocco game? We are all dedicated to where I assume I didn't see that one. There can always be a replay. I also have a lot of things to do today, and one of the major things I ought to do today is costing me a lot of money. Yeah. So, and facilitator also, she's extremely busy. I know her schedule. She's extremely busy. Sometimes we don't get to speak to ourselves. We have to keep missing our calls. All right. So, who is ready? Who is ready? Can I see the emoji that I am ready? My camera have issues. It can't be switched on. Please let your camera not have issue by next week. Please, your next session, we cannot accept my camera have issues. All our cameras can have issues, right, guys? Okay, thank you, Terry. All our cameras can have issues. All our camera can have issues, Doctors. But we chose not for our camera to have issues. Yeah. So, like I'd mentioned, please can we all put on our cameras for those who our camera do not have issues? Thank you very much. All right. On this note, I'd like to welcome our facilitator. I would not read our profile because we all have access to the profile already. We've sent our Instagram link to you. And we've also seen a video. We've seen a video for those who joined the session we had on Tuesday. Do we need to play that video again? Okay, we need to watch the video. Okay, Jacob, please go ahead. Jacob want to say something. Please go ahead.
Question you have not answered. Somebody said, in case network knock me out of the room, will I be allowed to get back? That question, I think.
But we have to apply.
I'm trying to get an answer to that question. I get what you've asked, Jacob. Try not to make the network knock you out. As long as the network won't knock me out here. And you know why we are trying to do this? The reason why we are trying to do this is because we have people who are waiting. We do not want to take them in again. And if we have to, probably have it come back again. Or let's do this. Let's do this. Fill the attendance. Fill the attendance. Comfort, please go ahead. Post the attendance now. Comfort, you haven't confirmed to me as well how many people has filled the baseline form.
So far,
If you have enough
72
number.
people.
Say that again.
So far, 72.
Over 72 people. We have 113. Can we have 100 people at least fill in the form? Can you post that link again? Can someone post that link again? Okay, I think we have a solution for someone who probably says, in case I'm knocked out. Two things can happen. Is either you are logging out to do something else, or the network genuinely log you out. Okay, which is, we know that. But when we see your name on the attendance, then we'll bring you back. So what you have to do is send a personal message to Comfort on WhatsApp when you are logged out or you are kicked out, okay? And we can take it off from there. So please post the attendance now, Comfort. For those, at least we know that we have 113 or 112 serious people that has made it into here at the moment now. So please go ahead, post the attendance. Then when you are logged out, we'll definitely bring you back. I promise that. However, we only bring you back when you go to the WhatsApp group to speak to Comfort that you were logged out, and she will be the one to bring you back. All right, Kessian, I'm very sure you're happy with that. All right. So thank you, everyone. We're excited to have you. And I'm excited to also bring on board my wonderful friend, my colleague in the development sector. Yeah, and I call her professor because she's full of knowledge. Sometimes when she speaks, I probably get my notepad, and I'm ready to do that as well. I'm sure you also have your notepad and pen as well. So I get my notepad, I get to write. Sometimes I tell her that, oh, can you just say that to me what you just said now? Because she's full of knowledge. Someone says, do we need to feel it again for those who feel it already? Okay, now what you are feeling now is the attendance. Elizabeth, thank you for being ready with your notepad. Now the question you ask, do we need to fill this again? What exactly are you referring to? Are you referring to the baseline or you are referring to the attendance? Are you referring to the baseline or you're referring to the attendance? Okay, so please respond to me on the chat. So I was saying something about Hope. For most of those that will be facilitating, we probably we've had some engagement together, or probably we've worked in the same organization, but not at the same time, which simply means that these are people that we share the same values. Okay, someone said baseline. If you have feel the baseline once, don't feel it again, please. It's just once. Thank you for asking that question. Comfort, please go ahead to post the attendance. Thank you for asking the question. Okay, before I continue, I'll let Laura ask a question, and then we go into the full introduction. Please go ahead, Laura. You're muted.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry,
Good
I've
evening.
not been able to accept forms, so that's what I want to ask.
Okay, all right, yeah. So this is what we do. Earlier, when you post the form, just write baseline before posting it so that someone knows that is baseline. Yeah, Elias has posted it again, so you can go ahead to fill it. All right, so I was saying something about sharing the same values. For those who knows me very well, excited for what's ahead. Awesome, thank you, Adam. I'm super excited for what is ahead as well too. For those who are just joining, I've mentioned that Hope and I has worked together. We keep working together. She's a consultant. She supports us at VS as well, and she's also the lead of an amazing organization. Please, for you to know more about her, she has sent a document to us ahead, which we have forwarded to you. Thank you for those who also purchased the book. Some still says they are yet to get the book. Some from Kenya. We're still going to address that. Or Hope we definitely address that as well. So I was saying this, that we share same core values. We share some professional values. I can see some that I know personally here that knows that I'm very big on time. I'm very big on discipline. I'm very big on communication as well. And these are the things that also defines the personality of Hope. Hope has walked across 3 continents, Europe, Africa, and Asia. And I can tell you this, that there is no better person to take this session other than Hope, for 2 reasons. Hope has a book that she has written about the session, which has to do with your career path, building a career path. Hope and I were speaking this morning, we're talking about, we've identified that there are people who have been in the space for about 6 years in this class, and some are actually new or planning to transition. And Hope is going to create a balance in this conversation so that those who are new would not get lost in the crowd, and those who are in already would also be able to see this as an, what do I call this, as a refresher. And for me as well, I see every training as a refresher. Being in the space for over 14 years does not mean that I am an island of knowledge. I learn and I learn and I learn every time. With no further ado, I would like to welcome Hope. Can we just put our hands together? Let's use different emoji to welcome her. Hope, you're welcome. All right,
Thank
over
you.
to you now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Mr. DME, and thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I can see everyone is excited. I'm very excited for today's session. Can you give me sharing rights?
Okay, we do that
I
right
can't wait
away.
to even start the session. I imagine that we're going to have fun. I also have my notepad here with my pen because I'm going to be taking notes and learning as well from every single person on this call. And just like Mr. Adeyemi mentioned earlier, what we're going to do is I I have a presentation slide, and because this session is not technical, I'm not going to have concepts and all of that for you guys. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to learn from experiences. I'm going to try to make it very experiential for you. And that means that there'll be stories, I'll ask questions, I expect, reactions and, I mean, like I mentioned, the session will only be as engaging as you are. It will only be as thoughtful as you make it to be. So please bring your full self. Don't be distracted. And if you have questions, please write it down so someone is collating at the end. I intend to spend about 45 minutes answering questions because I know there are a lot of questions that will come out of this. So thank you once again. Okay, I'll just try to share my screen. If you can see it, thumbs up. Can you see my screen? Can I get thumbs up? No thumbs up. I can't see any thumbs up.
Yeah, let me quickly interject now. I
Okay.
can see a lot of thumbs up here. A quick one. Someone has
Okay.
actually requested and says today is a first class. They should give us some grace. I think we will do the grace, but there are better ways to communicate. They should. We are dealing with professionals here. There is a better way to have communicated that. So we will give you the grace. We will give you the grace. Does that sound good to everyone? Okay, we'll give you the grace. Yes, we'll give you the grace. So we'll accept those who are waiting out at the moment. We accept them in because it has been requested for. So we are giving you the grace. Okay. And the grace should not be misused. We are going to stop accepting once it is 1 hour. We cannot open it for everyone. There is something that you also need. You also need to prove to us that you are interested in what we are doing here. So we will definitely admit everyone. And once it is 1 hour, we stop admitting. And after this week, once it's 20 minutes into the program, we stop accepting people. Are we together, everyone?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you. All right.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Over to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. DME, for accepting to bring other people back into the call. Really very thoughtful of you. And please, you guys, don't stop thanking Mr. DME for organizing this because I've been in a lot of sessions and people pay a lot to have this kind of training that you're having for free. So please, whenever you find the time, thank Mr. Adeyemi and the entire VSMC team. They're doing a whole lot of work. And your thank you, part of it will be showing up with your best self. Okay. So today, basically, I'm starting the first session and it's development sector fundamentals and career pathways. Like I mentioned earlier, I would encourage you to be very, very to bring yourself to this session in the sense that engage with whatever content is being put out. If a question is asked, please engage because you would understand more if you engage everything that is being taught. So the session overview today is very simple. It's not different from what you've seen before. And basically, it's us talking about the sector. What does the sector even look like? Because for some new entrant, for people who are newbies to the sector, they want to understand what is the difference between development sector. They know about public sector, they know about private sector, but what's the fuss about development sector anyway? Why is everybody talking about it? Today, we're going to demystify all of that. And then we'll talk about career pathways. So where do I even fit in all of this? There are different career pathways. There are different things that will fit your skills, your natural inclination. All of those things are things that we'll discuss today. So basically, this is a session overview. But before we start, I have a question for everyone, and please participate. Why are you here? And if this is because you want to get your first job in development, please thumbs up. If this is because you want to get your first job in development, thumbs up. Can I see thumbs up? Okay, not much thumbs up. If it's because of a career transition, can you clap? Can I get the clap emoji? You're in another sector, but you want to transition into development. Can I get the clap emoji? Anyone? Are you transitioning? Okay, good. If you already work in the sector, I mean, you're 6 years, 7 years, 5 years in, you just want to learn more as a refresher, like Mr. Adeyemi. Let's get the love emoji. Anyone? Please, can you all mute yourself? Thank you. If you already work in the sector and you're just having a refresher course because it's available, can we get the love emoji? Okay, so whatever reason why you're here, it fits into exactly what we're talking about today. But I'd like to start with my story because somehow everything that I did led me up to this point. So as you can see, I was a tech sis. I know it's very hard to believe. I used to work in a tech firm, and we did website development and all of that. I was deep into digital marketing. It's very hard for people to believe. So that's me in the middle, the only tech sis out of 5 tech bros. So I used to do a lot of tomboyish attitude because I just had to fit into what the sector looked like. But 2 years into that, I realized that I wasn't really cut out for screens. It was exhausting looking at screens all the time. I really wanted something more, right? And I made a very difficult decision at that time, which was leaving a sector where I was already 2 years in, or 3 years, actually 3 years in, because I started, working with the tech bros from my university days. So about 3 years in, I was really done looking at screens. I was like, I want to work in a sector that looked like, talking to people. That's all I knew. There was no class like this. There was no refresher. There was nothing. Nobody told me anything, right? I just knew I wanted to work with human beings. That's it. So I checked online. I saw UN. I went for the biggest at the time. I was like, UN is my goal. I wanted to work for the UN. So I started applying for jobs, and eventually I got into Leap Africa, where Mr. Adeyemi had also worked before. But even with all my, qualifications and transferable skills, so what I did was I tailored my CV. I had a knack for research. I love research. So part of what I was doing in the tech space was also business research, researching about the companies, the clients we were working for, and all of that, making a business case really. So I transferred those skills, and it became analysis skills, research and analysis skills. And I have a knack for writing. I can write for days. So I also transferred that from, my personal inclination, writing. I tailored my CV and I got the job. And it was in monitoring and evaluation. But I started out as an intern, and within, I think, 3 months, I became an officer. Within 2 years, I started managing the entire department. And I'm not saying that the same transition applies to everybody, but I'm saying that wherever you are in your career journey, whether you're just starting out, you've not figured out what you even want, whether you actually want to be in the sector or not, or you're in the sector, but you're like, I want to do more than program management. So I've been in trainings too where people walk up to me and say, I'm doing program management, I organize events, but really I don't even know what my skills amount to, although I'm the one that leads the training and all of that. So there are pockets of activities that they do, but they can't put that into a portfolio to say, this is who I am within the sector. Whatever suits you, whatever, uniform you're wearing today, this class would expand your knowledge and help you think of things in a new way. So basically, I think 8 years later, 9 years later, I'm an international development professional. I've worked in different countries. My job has sent me to over 8, 9 countries. I've evaluated projects in climate, in agriculture, in youth, in gender, in, just name it, right? So basically, if I were to start again, or let me put it this way, 3 things I learned through this journey is that the sector is bigger than NGOs. So when I was thinking as a Texas, it was all NGOs. So I was looking for non-governmental organizations. I was looking for non-for-profit, but the sector is way bigger than that, and we're going to talk about it. And the skills matter more than the title. At some point when I was an intern, my job portfolio was the job of an officer, right? It was a job of a coordinator. So the skills I developed and was able to demonstrate was what led to my quick ascension within the sector. And then fit matters more than passion. I mean, I was passionate, but then I was also fit for the sector in the sense that I genuinely love research. I could wake up and just want to research something. That's my forte. I genuinely love data. I want to understand why people think the way they do, why the sector is the way it is. That's my forte. More than passion. If I was passionate about, ending poverty, I could be passionate about it, but if I'm not fit for it, if I don't have the skills for it, I would not go anywhere. So these are 3 key things I've learned. And over the course of this entire session, we'll be talking about them once and over again. Are we on the same page? Can I get thumbs up before I proceed? Can I get thumbs up? Okay, just 1 thumbs up. Am I boring you guys? I thought my story was interesting. Okay, so just moving on. Thank you guys. Just moving on to the first part, which is really understanding the sector. And don't worry, there'll be time for us to discuss. I just want to quickly run over some things. Understanding the sector. I don't want to take it for granted that everybody here understands what development is or what the sector is about. So basically, development is a process of improving people's lives, capabilities, opportunities, and quality of life. Now, if you think of, say, UN, which is the biggest international organization, it's a bilateral, the World Bank and all of those global organizations, all they do at the end of the day, all they do is to improve people's lives, their capabilities, opportunities, and quality of life. Now, think of the local NGOs, and even regional ones like the VSMC. The aim and the purpose, even of this particular session you're attending, is to improve your capabilities. It's to improve the opportunities that you have access to and your quality of life. Because if you improve your capabilities and opportunities, your quality of life is bound to increase. So basically, the development sector, it's not an industry. It's an ecosystem. And the reason why I say this is because even in private sector, right? Say the UBA Bank, UBA, GT, Access Bank, and all of those, private sector financial bodies, they still have a CSR, they call it CSR, but basically it's development, right? They try to improve the capabilities of people, opportunities, and the quality of life that they have access to. So when you think of the sector, don't think of an industry, think of an ecosystem of players. So the private sector, they have the kind of things that they contribute. So whether it's the Tony Elumelu Foundation, Tony Elumelu Foundation is a product of what? The Hares Group, the UBA Bank, and all the portfolio of private ventures that he does. Even the Dangote of Nigeria, if you think of Dangote cement, sugar, and all of that, they have a foundation. If you think of Airtel, the communications giant, they also have a foundation, Airtel Foundation. If you think of, smaller NGOs, for instance, in Kenya, you have Safeguard, you have Akili Dada, you have some other, smaller ones, CBOs that are playing. All of them work together. It's not it's not a single industry, but an ecosystem of different players that do one thing: improve people's capabilities, opportunities, and quality of life. And the World Bank, we always say that they want to ensure that the planet is livable, that the opportunities that are created now does not affect the future potential of future generations. So basically, we are all working towards one goal. If there's anything you want to get from this slide, is that we're all working towards one goal. It's an ecosystem of different players, but working towards one goal. So basically, I took the liberty to even describe what that ecosystem looks like, right? So we have the NGOs, and which is probably the ones that you're most familiar with, the NGOs. They work through private donations and they address specific mandates. You see NGOs that say that we are for youth development, and all they do is youth development, whether it's in terms of education, capacity strengthening, and all of that. They vary from local to international. So you find some that are positioned within your country only, or they are positioned internationally. For some organizations, you have, Leap Africa, you have the Tony Elumelu Foundation, which is a foundation because it uses money from endowment from a private venture. So the difference between foundations and NGOs rely on grants. They rely on private donations, they rely on contracts and all of that. But you see foundations are set up by individuals or companies, and the way they get their money is from endowment, it's from private wealth. So Tony Elumelu, who is a billionaire, sets up a foundation. He is the primary source of funding for that foundation. You see the Dangote, the same thing, and other billionaires within other regions of Africa. So when you also look at the multilateral organization, when you hear multilateral, it means that more than one country is involved. Anyway, you hear multilateral, more than one country. So who can tell me one multilateral? Just write it in the chat. One multilateral. One multilateral, just write it. If you know any multilateral, or UNICEF is not a multilateral, no. MasterCard is not a... Who said African Union? African Union, thank you so much. African Union is a multilateral, right? They are made up of member states. ECOWAS, IMF, exactly. EU, good. World Health Organization is an agency of the UN. Yeah, SADC, exactly. Good. I'm happy that we're on the same place. COMESA, perfect. Great. So let's move on to social enterprises. By social enterprises, they have a blended model. They do things for impact. They want the society to be better, but they also have a model for investing and raising funds. So for instance, if any quote and unquote, I'm using NGO just for explanatory purposes. If there's any business that on the side, after getting money, they spend a part of it to make the world better. They social enterprise. They are not fully reliant on grants or anything. If CCOB in Nigeria, they've now expanded to Rwanda and Kenya. They are an example of a social enterprise. They have the arm that is focused on raising money. The business side of things is purely business, but they also have the arm for ensuring that they provide essential impact services to the communities. Yeah, co-creation hub, exactly. And I think another example of, okay, let me just go on to humanitarian first. So if you think of humanitarian organizations, it's purely voluntary donations and government aid. Purely donations. So you think of the International Rescue Committee, the Red Cross, Salvation Army, they are all humanitarian. They go to the places where help is needed the most. Save the Children. You can see now, if you go on to Save the Children website, all they are concerned about is the children in Gaza. All they are concerned about is the children that are being murdered in all the wars that are happening. They don't care which of the country, but the children are their primary responsibility. They get money from donations. So you can even put on your app, there's a way they do it. You can raise donations for any of these people. They are non-partisan. They ensure that they are not joining any government to do anything. Exactly, the Windle International. You have, I think, the Good Samaritans as well. All of these things are international humanitarian organizations. Now let's come down to community-based organizations. So Jehovah's Witness, I know, is a church, right? I do not know if they have a humanitarian arm. So I would not classify them categorically as a humanitarian organization. Usually humanitarian organizations are international in nature, international. So anyway, going to CBOs are probably the ones closest to you. You probably know a friend of a friend or a big sis, a big uncle, somebody doing things for the children in your community, right? There's village savings and loans group, especially in Malawi where I used to work. Yes, Doctors Without Borders, they are humanitarian. Thank you so much. Perfect. So for the CBOs, they are closest to you, right? And for them, they provide those services that are within communities. Sometimes they get money from membership dues, local fundraising, small grants. So there's another program that VSMC does. And that program, I think that was the clip you were watching. So those sort of small pockets of interventions that are done by one or two people, they make up CBOs. Sometimes the members of such group, they'll have to raise money. For instance, if they see that in their community there's flooding due to the waterways that have, dirt, they come together by themselves and clean it up, right? Community-based organizations, sometimes they are not formalized, meaning that they are not registered. All they do is attend to the immediate needs. If, for instance, you're living in a particular community, they tell you every Thursday, everybody comes out to clean up the neighborhood. That in itself, that organization of bringing different people together, it's community-based. Do you understand? Even farmers group. In Rwanda, I know there's farmers cooperative where I used to work, right? There's a lot of farmers cooperative, especially for the tea sector. In Malawi, the same thing. They have the VSLAs and all of that, Village Savings and Loans Group. The reason why I'm taking out time to explain all of this is to help you understand where you want to be. So not everybody thrives in all the different organizations that form the entire ecosystem. For some people, they do not want to touch anything on the ground. They are not concerned about what happens on the ground. If you are that person, you probably will thrive working with foundations, multilaterals, humanitarian agencies, and INGOs. But if you like to get your hands dirty, you like to go to, the thick of the issues, you probably thrive in CBOs, social enterprises, and local NGOs. So this is just the distinction I want you to have at the forefront of your mind as we go forward. This part, I'm taking out time to explain it. It's a bit texty and it's by design. You have to understand how the ecosystem works, right? So those big multilaterals, the AU, the ECOWAS, the COMESA, the SADC, the IFC, International Monetary Fund, yes, IMF, and all of that. They are multilaterals, they are bilateral. They provide the policy direction. Who knows the agency that is responsible for the SDGs? Who knows the agency? Which agency is responsible for the SDGs? Put it in the chat box. UN? I still not found it. No, it's not UN. UN is not responsible for the SDGs. It's the World Bank. And World Bank is made up of three core institutions, the IFC, the IMF, and the multilateral investment banks. Yes, the World Bank is responsible for the SDG. So they set the policy direction. Every 10 years, I think, the last SDG was MDGs, the Millennial Development Goals. And when that stopped, they brought the SDGs, which is supposed to end in 2030, right? What do? They set the policy direction. So everybody, even the organization where you work, if you're already working in the sector or you intend to go to, they'll tell you our work is hanging on SDG 1, SDG 2, SDG 3, SDG 4, or all of that. Do you understand? Everybody anchors their work on the policy direction of the multilaterals and bilaterals, okay? Sorry, apologies for that. So for the second part, can you see my screen? Good. Yes, I was on the wrong screen. So for foundations, their role is a bit more flexible. So if Tony Elumelu Foundation is giving young social entrepreneurs in Africa money, he's giving them 5K unrestricted funding. He's not telling you what to use it to do. He's only telling you use it to scale your business. Compare that to when you are a local NGO or international NGO, because I've worked with international NGOs as well. When you get funding, they tell you exactly how to use the money, and you can't use the money for something else. Do you understand? So we have the MasterCard Foundation, we have the MacArthur Foundation. Come on, give me a list of foundations. MasterCard, Ford Foundation. Guys, come on, there's the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Come on, I can't see any foundation. Okay, Safricom, okay. Global Fund. Global Fund is by who? Obama Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates. Perfect. That's it. Now, these foundations are a bit more flexible. They go upstream and downstream depending on how large their fund is, right? Now, when you talk about NGOs and INGOs, they are full-on implementation bodies. Full-on implementation bodies. Like the organization I used to work with in Nigeria then, it was Leap Africa, and it was focused on implementing youth interventions across Africa, right? INGOs like the Care Foundation, like, the Care Foundation, Action Aid, all of those organizations, they are full on, they implement on the ground. Social enterprises are a bit of the market and hybrid mission. So sometimes you see them full on focused on, achieving their market missions first. Because if you don't have money, how do you want to fund, social impact? CBOs, grassroots, they're anchored. Now the accountability structure is what I want you to get from here, really. It's that upward accountability is always to donors. Who are the donors? Donors are people that give you money. Now, people have a misconception about the development sector that is just made of donors and implementers. Like I've showed you within the ecosystem, we have more than that. There are different actors and you can walk across anyone. I've been on the side where we give money. My work in the UK was part of, giving money to local organizations in different countries to actually implement on our behalf. And my job was to ask them, did you do this? Going on the field to verify some of the projects that they've said they've done. Now, their own accountability is towards me. However, for downward accountabilities, the NGOs that do things on the ground, their accountability is towards who? The communities that they serve. Now, there's always a tension between the two, and it exists. Even within my work, how many years in, there's a tension. You want to ensure that your donors are satisfied, but you also don't want your communities to reject you when you go back. These are things that you find in the sector. And why am I telling you this in advance? The sector is not a neat place that you say, this is how I must do things. This is how things are. You have to be flexible. You have to be very flexible. And the word that we always use is adaptability. You have to be adaptable. Anything can happen. Can anybody tell me the most shocking thing that happened in the development sector in 2025? If you're current in the news, if you really want to be in the sector, you should know what happened in 2025. What happened? Anybody, just
The United States pulled out their funding.
I mean, and you know what happened? USAID, the United States, USA pulled their funding. Thank you very much, whoever answered that. I didn't get your name. And once they pulled their funding, there are several organizations I know that shut down completely. Shut down. There were a lot of consultants that were already on the roster that lost money. They couldn't be paid anymore. Even where I was working in the UK, we had to even stop some projects. It was not affecting us, but we're now planning in advance because we're working with the German government. And we started thinking, what if, GIZ pulls money again? What are we going to do? What if the Swiss embassy pulls money? You understand? This is in real time and it's happening. So what you should know is that the sector is very, very dynamic. It changes very quickly. And what does that tell you as a professional? Whether you're here already or you're coming in, you have to be very adaptable. You can't afford to say, this is who I am. There's nothing like who you are, right? You adapt to the times. And case in point, we're going to talk about it again, about the whole technology and AI. And a lot of people are like, no, in development, you're talking to local people. They don't know AI. And for several organizations that refuse to adapt to this AI and all of the tech innovations, they have been sidelined from funding because now it is almost a requirement for you to demonstrate how AI is being used in your work. Can you see that the sector does not suit somebody who does not like to change? Can you already see? If you know that you don't want to change, if you know that you're not adaptable, the sector is not for you. And I mean, you can move on to private sector, which is very predictable, profits. You understand? Profits. Private sector is very profit driven. So yes. Yeah, moving on. I think I'm enjoying myself too much. I need to look at time. Okay. So yes, I've even touched on this a bit. The sector you're entering is changing. Like that is okay. I can see your comment, Miss Akigbe. They're officially responding and the World Bank provide grants to help them. Okay, I'll verify that. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Thank you. For the sector you're entering, 5 years ago, it was more donor funding. Reporting was based on evidence, standalone M&E, international leadership, grant dependency, digital transformation, blah, blah, blah. Right? The sector has changed a lot. From when I joined the sector, I'll be very honest with you. It was pre-COVID. And pre-COVID, we used to collect data by hand. So when we travel to Kenya, we go to all the schools, we go and collect all the data, we talk to everybody and all of that. And then COVID happened. And I was responsible for collecting data from 5 countries. And the funder at the time was still expecting their reports. It didn't matter whether or not COVID was happening. I couldn't travel. Nobody could even move. And then we had to sit together to innovate, to say, you know what, we can use third-party reporting. And we started doing third-party reporting. And I started having, a lot of interaction with the country M&E teams that were able to put together at the time. Why am I telling you this? The sector is shifting. It is now more African-led. Now, in 2027, I think, the UN, or 2028, the UN is moving its headquarters to Kenya. That means that there's a whole lot of preparations that you and I need to do. They've decided to move their headquarters to Africa. It's a verified news, but they are doing it in phases. That's why they didn't do it last year. I think it's in 2027 or 2028. For some other foundations that I know that I'm not at liberty to mention their name, they are going to stop operations in year 2030. And there are over 15,000 people working in that organization as we speak. So imagine in 2030, it means that they'll be jobless if they are still in that organization. So what does that tell you? You have to ensure that you're always on top of your game, ensure that you're not left behind, right? And it means that learning and adaptation is something that you must take very seriously. Upskill, relearn. Earlier this year, I think it was April, I also just finished another course on data. My core competence is monitoring and evaluation. If you want to box me, but I hate to be boxed. So I took another training on data and how it's used in management and, leveraging AI and all of that. You have to always upskill yourself. Being in development is not a license to sit back because I'm helping communities. No, if you really want to get to the top of your career journey, you have to keep upskilling. And now it's now more African-led. That's why I talked about the, UN moving its headquarters to Kenya. And several UN agencies are also following the same route. Another one, they are moving their headquarters from I think Switzerland or Germany to Africa, but they've not named the country yet. That creates a lot of job opportunities already for Africans who are ready. So if you are ready, ensure that you are positioning yourself, because these places are not going to take you because you have passion. Everybody's passionate about something, right? But passion, as you can see, and as we are going to see, passion does not really lead you to a lot of places. So sector in this sector is increasingly dependent on you solving problems. What problem can you solve? What problem can you solve? That's one question you should keep asking yourself. What problem can you solve very well? What problem can you solve? So I also took the liberty to just bring the biggest development priorities now, right? There are a lot of priorities that have shifted over time, but currently, if you want to be relevant to the sector, you should work within these areas. AI is increasingly getting eyeballs. It's spotlight. I'll mention climate, but a caveat about climate. Climate is no longer treated as a standalone. You can't just say, I'm a climate person, but climate is now increasingly being situated in AI, in youth employment, in governance, in digital transformation, in several things. So you can see that it's no longer about knowing one thing. It's knowing how each of them intersect, because this sector is filled with intersections. Gender and climate, exactly. Yes, you're getting it. Gender and climate, youth and climate, youth and AI, youth and creative sector, digital transformation and governance. All of these things are intersecting. And guess what? We're Africans, we're on this call. One key thing that you're going to take out of this is that African youth in 2050, 1 in 5 people are going to be Africans. That's it. And that's why Africa has become the place where everybody's looking at. So if they are looking at Africa, they're also looking for the skill set. They're also looking for people who can man those positions, those opportunities that are increasingly being created. So please look out for these areas, right? And how they intersect. Food systems. Yes, I forgot to mention agriculture and food systems. It's increasingly getting eyeballs because with the advent of a lot of drought. I mean, I used to work in the tea global supply chain. So I know that in Malawi, there are a lot of landslide. In Nigeria, currently, we're experiencing flooding like never before. In Ghana, it's the same thing. There are several countries that are experiencing a lot of climate issues. And guess what? It's affecting food systems. So now you can see the intersection of food systems and climate, even health. Talk about young people. The reason why you can't see education here is because it's embedded into youth employment and digital transformation. And again, it's the priorities that have shifted. Education has always been there, but then it was pegged on literacy and numeracy as per the SDGs, but they've moved past that. It's not about knowing how to count or how to read. It's about using what you learn. If you can't use what you learn to better your life, then there's no point. The circular economy is embedded in employment. So whether you are working in a structured place or you're a small business owner, it's all in employment. Digital transformation is the increasing use of how young people are using technology. People are using technology to better their lives, right? So yeah. These are Africa's biggest development priorities as at now. And if you read the AU 2063 agenda, a lot of it are listed there. So part of what you should do if you're working in development sector, don't just sit back and say, I'm applying. Look for the priorities within your region. What is the priority of the Nigerian government regarding youth, AI, and the rest, the opportunities there? What is the priorities of the Kenyan government regarding agriculture and all of that? You have to be able to tell those things. So I put a small game together as we discuss the career pathways, myth or fact. So number one, if you think it's a myth, just say myth in the comment section when I read out the question, okay? So you need a master's to work in development, myth or fact? Myth, okay. Who said fact? Claudia, please explain yourself. Who said fact? Come on, guys. You guys are playing with me. Okay. Myth, right. Most development jobs are with the UN. Myth or fact? Number two. Myth or fact? Number two. Myth? Are you sure? I mean, UN is moving to Nairobi, or it has started moving. Fact. Claudia, you're going to have to explain yourself. Everything seems like a fact. Fact. Okay, we'll find out. Volunteers are the only people who get hired. Myth or fact? Number three, myth or fact? Volunteers are the only people who get hired. Fact. I saw a lot of fact for number three. Myth. Okay. Number four, NGOs and social enterprises do the same work. Four, myth or fact? Brian, fact. NGOs and social enterprises do the same work. After everything I've said in the first explanation. Come on, guys. Fact. Okay. I feel like you guys are pulling my legs, so I'll take it. Number five, lastly, the development professionals spend most of their time in communities. Five, myth or fact? Five, myth or fact? Fact. It depends. I like that. It depends. Mitchell, it depends on what? Fact. Myth and fact. Yes and no. Okay. So let's see. So you need a master's degree to enter the sector. I entered the sector with a master's degree, I have to say. But I know a lot of people who did not even have a BSc before entering the sector. They did not even have a BSc. So the reality is there are different entry points depending on your skill, your field experience, especially in MEL, comms, and grants, right? So depending on your entry point. So for someone with a master's, the entry point is different. For someone with, even secondary school SAT. I mean, we had people that came to work as intern in my previous organization, and they just finished their secondary school education, high school for, other countries, high school. They just finished high school and they came and they worked and they were paid and they went their way afterwards. So yeah, that's a myth. Development sector work doesn't pay well. So the reality is that compensation varies enormously. So for multilaterals, they often pay competitively. In fact, if you work for UN and World Bank, some of my colleagues, my friends, my classmates, they work in World Bank. They even give you a passport, right? You have another passport. You can go to any country of your choice. It's all cool and nice. They pay competitively. If you get to work in the headquarters, they ship you all the way from anywhere in the world. It's a bit, it's good, right? But some foundations are also equally competitive, I must say. Some foundations are very competitive, especially those that have endowment fund. MasterCard Foundation, they pay really well. The Gates Foundation, they pay really well. I mean, I shouldn't be mentioning specific foundations, so you not go and eyeball and apply for only those ones. But yeah, the remuneration is very competitive to the private sector and the public sector. You have to start as a volunteer. Nope. It's a helpful pathway. I have never imagined myself not working for money because I need money. I have, myself to take care of. But I volunteer. Now I volunteer. I have my full-time job. I also volunteer, right? But it's not the only pathway. But if there's a pathway you are presented with at this time, please take it. You know why? Whenever opportunities open up in such organizations, the transitioning timeline is shorter, so they prefer to take someone that has worked with them. In fact, sometimes they'll even offer you the role if that's what you've been working on as a volunteer. So please, if that is what is open to you now, don't say because Hope said that she has not imagined herself working as a volunteer, I can't volunteer. Please do. It's a very viable pathway as well. Lastly, passion alone will carry you. I mean, these are my common myths. Yeah. Passion alone will carry you. Passion cannot carry you. Cannot. I'm not saying it could. It cannot. It's a fact. I've worked in the sector for so long. Everything I was passionate about, let me tell you, I was very passionate. I'm still very passionate about youth development in Africa. But guess what? I've worked in global supply chain. I've worked in smart climate practices. I've worked in agriculture. I've worked in tech use and all of that. So if I was saying that I'm only passionate about youth development, it would be hard for me to transition to other thematic areas. And like I mentioned before, the development sector is quite fluid. It's like if someone had told me I would not be working on youth development right now, say, that person is a liar. But I worked in climate, and no, I do not have any agricultural degree. In fact, I should have started with the fact that I studied political science. So well, you can say that there's a part that have to do with international relations. My first master's was in what? I can't remember, but something about strategic studies. It had to do with, military and stuff, right? So I'm a trained diplomat. My master's was my training in diplomacy. But all of that was not what led me to the sector, to be honest, right? My second master's, which was more intentional. So after working in development sector for a while in youth development, I told myself there are a couple of things I don't know and I want to know. So that's why I went for my second master's, which is in development management, how to manage, things in the development sector. That's what my second master's is about. The point is, my second master's was more intentional because I found a gap in my skills that I needed to upskill on. And once I was able to do that, I was able to also go up in terms of the roles that I can apply for. I left as a manager. Now I can't apply for roles as manager. In fact, nobody will give me a job as a manager right now because they think that it's beneath my qualifications. Do you understand the point? So even in seeking trainings and education, it must be intentional. That's the point here. Are we on the same page? Okay. So I also took the liberty to do something, right? They shared the data with me and it showed the career pathway that each of you were interested in. So I mapped the career pathways and functional areas along that line. Disclaimer, these are not the only pathways, and I'm going to explain that later on, but I wanted to map it along what you are interested in. So we have program design and management, we have grants and fundraising, we have monitoring and evaluation. This is where I sit pretty. We have impact storytelling, and one more that I added, technical roles. And the reason why I added technical roles, in NGOs, you realize that we also have finance officers. We need people that will manage the funds, right? We need people that will employ you and I, right? We also need people that are drivers. right? We need transport coordinators, logistics. We need all of those functional roles, technical roles. People often believe that if you're not a program person or a grant person or a mail person, or you're not doing impact storytelling, you can't be in the development sector. That's a blatant lie. If you've worked in logistics, you can even enter the sector as a logistics manager. There's an entry point for you. So don't feel compelled that you must do all of these 4 pretty ones before you can enter the sector. So I explained them more explicitly here. I'm not going to go too deep into it because it's a lot, but I'll share the slides with you guys and you can go in depth. But what I wanted to bring out is one thing. Understand the day-to-day of each of the functional areas you're interested in, because some people will say, I'm interested in program management. The first time I heard about program management, to be honest, when I saw their day-to-day, I was never interested in it again. Up to today, I'm still not interested. And the reason is simple. They are always doing work plans. I'm not interested in doing work plans. I'm not, it's very tedious for me. All I want to sit in front of is data. I want to go on the field to talk to the woman. I want to go on the field to talk to the children or something. Do you understand? I want to collect data on the field. That's what's interesting to me. But I had a colleague. She was so good in program management and compliance. She will tell you, no, we have to do this process before this process. So if you are process driven, you like managing budget, you like managing timeline. For instance, SoDIP is happening at this particular time. There's somebody that is going to tell me, Miss Hope, please, your time is remaining 10 minutes. That's the program manager. I can't do that. So if you really like to do those sort of things, program management is probably somewhere that you thrive. And the growth trajectory, okay, I'll start with the entry point. You can be a program assistant, project assistant, officer, and all of that. Then you can grow to become program manager, country director, regional lead. You can become even the CEO of the organization eventually. Do you understand? The skills that you need is program management fundamentals. And for most applications I've seen, I'll be honest with you, they need you to have a program management certification, whether it's PMP, PMI, and all of that. But you need to know program management fundamentals, how to manage funds, how to manage people. So by program and program is the same thing. It's just US English versus UK English. Don't think too much about it, okay? Project is a single project. I don't know how to say. Project is a single sort of activity, while program is a portfolio of projects. Do you understand? That's it. Now let's go to fundraising. Now, program manager is there trying to manage things on the ground, logistics and blah, blah, blah. But there's somebody that has to raise the money. Do you understand? Now, if this was a funded program, that means for you guys not to pay to be in this place, somebody else has paid for every one of you. Do you know that? Somebody else has actually paid an entry fee for every single one of you. That's why grants and fundraising they sit, right? It means you're securing grants, you're ensuring that the program is possible. So when Mr. Adeyemi came to his team and said, we need to do SoDIP in 2026, somebody had to say, how are we going to get money for internet? How are we going to get money for logistics? How are we going to get all the facilitators that are going to be paid? Blah, blah, blah. All of those things. A grant and fundraising person will say, okay, how much is the cost? Okay, let's say it's $1 million, blah, 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 whatever amount we come to. The grant and fundraising person start approaching different prospective donors or apply for open grants. If they are open grants, they apply. But a core skill is how to ensure that you're able to write a compelling proposal. You have to write a compelling proposal. So grants and fundraising, you have to know how to tell stories. It's like sales. If you're in the private sector, if you know how to sell snow to an Eskimo, you can sell grants to anybody, they'll pay. Do you understand? So it's similar skills. You can see that you can use transferable skills. If you've been in business, sales, and all of that, grants and fundraising, if you know how to write very well, you can translate that into a donor research, proposal writing, business development associate. I'm sure you've heard of it a lot in different companies. It's grant and fundraising, proposal writing. So basically the growth trajectory is also very high. You are probably entering as a grant officer, growing into BD manager, director of resources, and strategy in some cases and all of that. The skills to build, you have to know how to write. Basic, you need to know how to write. Do you understand? And how to do basic research and budgeting, and then attention to compliance. So let's go to the second part of the functional areas, the monitoring and evaluation, what it looks like. We generate evidence. I say we because this is my forte. We generate evidence. We are like the police of the development sector. When a project is done, we go and check. This is what you said you wanted to do. This is what you did. What is the result? Do you understand? We are those people that do that. So day to day, we're designing surveys, we are doing data collection, we're doing learning workshop, you're doing theory of change development workshop. You're telling people, don't just collect data, ask why. All of those things are what we do. And that's where my role sits. And the skills to develop, quantitative skills. You need to know how to use Excel. You need to know how to use SPSS. You need to know how to design, because you're going to write a lot of reports. You need to know how to analyze data, right? All of these things make up the kind of skills to build. But a skill I would like to add is curiosity. Without curiosity, you can't do MEL, at least from my experience. You have to be curious to know why. Curiosity is a skill to also add. Apart from the whole technical skills, be curious. So for comms and impact storytelling, sorry, I'm a bit, entry point is MEL intern, from my journey, intern, officer, coordinator, manager, and you can rise to become research director. You can even become country manager. So there's a very compact relationship between M&E and project management, right? Oftentimes, a MEL person can do a program management job, oftentimes, but I've found it very difficult for project managers to actually do the job of a MEL person. I don't know why. It's just something I've found. It's a research area I'm interested in. If I find out why, I'll tell you. But yeah, going to comms and impact storytelling, what does it mean? It means that we are translating all of that big program data, translating it to different audience. Your donors want compliance. Did you use our money well? But your board members, right? Your management staff, they want to know, okay, what have we done and how do we move forward? The public, the global audience, they don't want to know that they gave us 50,000, we now use 20,000, it's remaining 13,000. No, they all want to know, tell me what has changed in that community. And that's where you see the stories of change, right? People are writing stories. If your comms is good, right? You can literally get away with a lot of things. And part of the comms, sorry, somebody is talking and it's really distracting. So part of comms, right, is that, for instance, Victor, from VSMC, Mr. Victor reached out to me and said, Miss Hope, you have to submit a video. I was almost distressed because I'm like, how do I do a video? I didn't want to do a video, but hey, that's the comms person and that's his forte. Do you understand? And he took the video, he made something out of it, and it's on the social media pages. Now, if comms and impact storytelling is your forte, you look to that direction. Are we on the same page? If you know you don't like going in public to create content, if you know you don't know how to design graphics using Canva and all of that, if you know that you're not willing to write case study, because a lot of the report we want case study, okay, we gave you money to change a full community, write one case study that works, right? So all of these things are part of what comms and impact storytelling is. Again, in all of these things, I'll keep saying, lead with curiosity, whichever pathway works for you. So I was able to just kind of explain the functional areas. But like I said earlier, there are also technical areas, and I didn't want to go into all of that. Sorry, that's my alarm to tell me how much time I have left. For the technical areas, they have logistics manager. I mean, in the NGO where we worked, we had an EA, we had someone who is responsible for booking flights and blah, blah, blah. We had someone who is responsible for logistics and car travels. We had the HR. If for a project, I see that it's difficult for just me to handle, I tell them, okay, I need 2 people. Can you put out a call and employ more people? Do you understand? So all of those things are things that are very important. Do you understand? So if you're already in the technical area and you can't really necessarily find yourself in any of the 4 functional areas, but you have an opportunity to enter the development sector from a technical perspective as an HR, as a driver, as a logistic man, still go inside. When you reach inside, you can determine if it's a good fit for you or it's not. Do you understand? So I don't want you to constrain yourself to these 4 areas. And that's why I took the liberty of also researching emerging career opportunities. There's decision intelligence, there's digital transformation, and it aligns very well to those emerging priority areas for Africa that we talked about earlier. There's climate finance. There's a whole lot of investment, I can tell you, in climate finance. When I was working in the agricultural sector, there's a whole lot of money that is focused on ensuring that Europe and Americas and all the other continents that are actively destroying the climate, they pay repatriation to Africa, because Africa has the least impact on global climate, right? And that's something that is receiving a lot of attention. That a project that I had to really work on was payment for ecosystem services. Companies in the global north had to pay farmers to plant trees in Malawi. And it was a project I was actively working on. So they pay for the farmers to go on, plant trees and all of that. So by decision intelligence, right? So there's a whole lot of investment, and this is something I came by. There's a whole lot of investment in MEL, monitoring, learning, monitoring and evaluation and learning. In the last 5 years, there's been a lot of investment in this. But guess what? A lot of organizations now have a lot of data, but they are not necessarily using it. They're not necessarily using it to better their programs. They're not using it to better their stakeholder management. They are just using it for compliance because the donors are asking for the reports. So there's an emerging theory within the development sector to say, you know what, how do we ensure that organizations use the report to make decisions? Do you understand? How do organizations use the data that they already have to make decisions in their organization? So that's what decision intelligence is. Then we have AI for development. There's a lot of conversations about AI. There's ethical AI. There's how to use AI for development. A lot of people were shying away from, the whole AI conversation at first because they found it unethical. But the truth is, the world is moving at a speed that we cannot but adapt. Do you understand? And for us in MEL, what we did is there's ethical use of AI in MEL. There are things you cannot use AI for in monitoring and evaluation. You can't substitute AI for data analysis all through. Do you understand? Especially qualitative data. You can't substitute AI for it. You have to go to the context and collect those data and interpret it based on what you saw on the field, not what AI is telling you, because AI does not have feelings. So all of that, knowledge management is very related to decision intelligence, but it's an offshoot of MEL. There are a lot of organizations, instead of them to say that they are looking for MEL managers, they tell you they are looking for knowledge managers. Is the same thing. You do what MEL is doing as a knowledge manager. Do you understand? Sometimes they also update the nomenclature in terms of the naming of the role, but basically the core functions, they don't change. So you hardly see male manager. For instance, when I applied for my job in the UK, I didn't see male specialists. It was insight specialists they called it. But all I was doing is male. I was doing exactly the same thing, creating theory of change and going to the countries to evaluate programs and all of that. So these are the emerging career opportunities. What does it mean for you? It means that even as you've seen the 4 functional areas, you have to think more broadly in terms of the intersection we talked about. So you have to ensure that you are at the place where you're not just saying, I'm a male person, I can't do knowledge management. When you see knowledge management, you run away. Or you are a program manager. When you see partnership management, you run away. No. There is a bit of all of that in those 4 functional areas. So, yeah, I wanted to also just touch on what recruiters look for. So instead of degrees and certificates and passion, I'll be very honest with you. Even me, I've sat in recruitment tables. We don't just look at degrees, because I've had somebody with a PhD that was putting in for a male position that knew nothing about research. And I'm not even trying to be funny. The person knew nothing about male research. But I've also found somebody that just graduated from the university, right? And the person was so good with research. I was like, how did you learn it? You understand? So instead of looking for certificates and passion and all of that, we're looking for problem-solving skills. Can you problem solve? Because the sector is very dynamic. For instance, for some organizations, when the USAID was caught, because they are not problem solvers, the organization, do you understand? People lost their livelihoods overnight because one donor said they are no longer giving you money. What happened to coming together to think of other fundraising pathways for the organization? Communication. Can you communicate effectively, whether it's speaking, because you're going to be talking a lot, especially if you are front facing. You're going to be talking to, if you're a male person, you're going to be talking to stakeholders on the ground a lot. You're going to have to communicate findings. You're going to have to collect data. How do you do that? Writing. If you are writing grants, you have to write in clear English, right? You have to write it in a way that your donor understands exactly what you want to use the money for. Stakeholder management. Are you the fighter on the team? It's your way or nothing else. Imagine that you are in a team that is not just Africans, because increasingly the development sector is so fluid that your colleagues can be in other regions of the world. So because they are not Africans, you bring the whole, myth and all the things that they say about Africans. There's African time, there's this. No. Are you somebody that is able to adapt and ensure that you show up correctly with discipline, so they don't continue having that mindset that Africans, they don't know their job? Do you understand? The development sector, as it is evolving, your colleagues are going to be people from other continents, and that's a fact. So you have to be able to show up in a way that you're not scared of them, because a lot of the time they even look up to us because we are the ones closest to the issues on the ground. A lot of the funding from the global north comes to Africa. So they look up to us to say, what are the real issues and how do we solve it? So evidence of initiative, you need to demonstrate that you are not somebody they will tell A to Z. If they give you A, B, C, D, at least think of Z yourself or something. Do you understand? Research, use AI, but use it ethically. Don't use it for everything. Do you understand? Digital literacy, learning agility. You must be the ambassador of your own learning. You can't leave it so if the organization does not want me to learn, then they are not giving me money. No, the fact that you're even in this class, for me, demonstrate that your learning is something that you have taken initiative for, and I really want you to be proud of that. Professionalism, you have to show up correct. There are a lot of people they just believe that because it's development sector, I can do whatever I like. They show up, they are not properly dressed. You won't get a job. Even leadership skills, yes, Absolutely. And leadership is not just about position, it's about self-leadership, initiative. Can you show up correctly? So when they say they are looking for strong communication skills, this is what they are looking for. Can you communicate clearly? When they say project management, see the skills they are looking for. I took liberty to put all of that out there because the truth is sometimes when you see the application and you see all of these things, strong communication skills, project management, you discredit yourself already. You're like, I'm not sure I can do it, but most times you already have the skills and you can transfer them. Okay? So finding there's supposed to be finding where you fit in. Sorry about that. So finding where you fit in. Someone talking. Okay. So finding where you fit in. Something I would say is fit matters more than passion. And I don't know how to scream this at the top of my voice, but passion can get into the sector, but fit is what keeps you growing in it. And the reason is very simple. Let me tell you, you can be passionate about one area, and you get in, you're like, let's get on the ground. Let's go and save the children. Let's go and do this. But if you get into the sector without putting the right structures in place, as a program manager, you're not managing your budget well. You might have saved all the children, but when they ask you, okay, so can you account for the money? Can you account for the time? Because foundations like MasterCard, you account for time. How much hours did you spend on the project? As granular as that, they ask for it. Do you understand? So if all you're consumed by is passion, you're going to burn yourself out. That's why sometimes development professionals, they end up being very depressed. And another thing I like to say in the sessions I take, you can't solve all the problems in the world. We can't. Nobody can. UN, no. WHO, no. Nobody can save the world as it is, but all of us are contributing what we can. So don't put the world's burden on your shoulder. Your job is to ensure that within your sphere of influence, you're solving the problem that is in front of you per time. So can you solve the problem in front of you? Don't let passion consume you. So in finding the fit, one key thing you should ask yourself, even if you are transitioning, to be honest, right? What working style suits you? Are you the one that likes to go on the field to go and hold sensitization programs? Yeah, the one that likes to talk to, gatekeepers, market women, all of that. You want to talk to farmers. You want to see the children. You want to play with them. Which working style suits you? If that's your forte, you want to work closer to the grassroots, which is the CBOs and local NGOs. But if you're more in tune with, you just want to know compliance, you're more compliance, paper driven, please go and work in, multilaterals and foundations. That's their forte. What kind of problem energizes you? Are you the one that you want to keep looking at processes, compliance, and predictable systems? In UN, one thing that drove me away from all my ambition in the UN is the bureaucracy. Once I learned about the bureaucracy within the system, I told myself I will not thrive. I thrive in an environment where evidence can actually change something. But in a system like UN, you can have the evidence. The process could take years. And for me, I couldn't wrap my head around this. So my ambition to work in the UN, I told myself I deserved better than that because my mental health was important. So where do you thrive? But again, UN is very predictable. It's a predictable place compared to local NGOs and all of that. So you also have to think of the pathway pool. We've talked about everything today. Take a moment and reflect. Where do you enjoy working? Which pathway naturally is your instinctive pull? Without overthinking it, don't overthink it that I have to, no. As you're thinking of it right now, right here in this room, where do you think you're more pulled towards? What's your inclination like? Answer that question for yourself. Write it down somewhere or something. If you can answer that question, then you can know where your fit is, because fit matters more than passion at any given time. So for new entrants versus those that are transitioning, it would be good for you to volunteer, to build one visible skills. And I think I redid this slide again, and leverage fellowships and structured programs like SoDIP as entry credentials. So if you're going to even optimize your CV or go on LinkedIn after the training is over with your certification, write that you've just done this, that it's your entry into the development sector. You are now looking for opportunities to volunteer or intern. It's a good entry pathway for people that have never worked in development. And for you that is transitioning, identify the skills that you currently have, right? Reframe your CV to be around those transferable competencies and network with intention. And I'll talk more about those networking skills. So for those that you, there's a different pathway for you, so you don't overwhelm yourself thinking of much. Don't overthink it. Leverage fellowship, structured programs like this. For some people, even on this call, they're already in the sector. Are you talking to them? Are you talking to them? Or you're just here, you want to, mark attendance and zoom out. So please leverage those kind of opportunities. So again, if I was starting today, these are the things I'll do. I'll master one valuable skill. Instead of trying to be everything. Oh, I know how to write, so I'll apply for grant writing. No, I just want to do mail. That's all I want to do, right? Build visible evidence. If you attend the training, please put it up on LinkedIn or something. If you do other, I think somewhere is writing on the screen. I don't know who that is, but yeah. Build visible evidence. If you volunteer, please talk about it. If you intern, please talk about it. If you are looking for internship opportunities, don't be shy. You're just one visibility away, right, from getting your next job that you like. Leverage AI. Use it to build portfolio. Use it to learn knowledge management. Use it to learn program management. Use it to do so many things. There's a lot of things you can do with AI. Network intentionally. It's not about waiting for the right moment or going to this big event. Even from this very class, do you know what the next person is doing? Do you know the organizations they work? Do you know the country they're from? Apart from these charts that keep popping up and all of that. And again, keep learning. My signature on my newsletter is yours in lifelong learning. And I love it so much because there's no year I do my plan that I do not put a learning and development plan. And I think I work for myself now, but there's a learning and development plan for myself. Every quarter, I have to go back to the classroom. You can't know too much. So keep learning, keep evolving, keep doing what it takes to be relevant. So where these jobs actually come from, there's LinkedIn. There are different communities of practices on LinkedIn and several other platforms. But I want to zoom down on LinkedIn. Now, there are different groups. LinkedIn is not just about following people or companies. There are groups actually on LinkedIn. There are mail groups, there are program managers, they post opportunities, they post trainings, they post different things. Please join committees of practices or groups. Fellowships like this is excellent, right? There are different other fellowships, conferences, referrals, talk to somebody, consultant. I am now a consultant, so I'm also in the communities of different other consultants, and whenever we need anything from each other, we reach out to each other. Alumni networks. Don't say after this program you will stop engaging. It could just be the passport to the next level of your career. So please leverage it. So what does the future development professional look like? We've talked about it. So today's professional combines both evidence. You know exactly what is going on in the sector you are interested in. Please read on what's going on, right? UN is coming to Nairobi, or they're already setting up offices in Nairobi. Which of the agencies are coming? Because it's not all of UN agencies, not all the agencies. Which of them are actually coming? You need to know that and position yourself correctly. If there are already people within that area, network with them. I have friends in Kenya, Safeguard, she does gender and violence against women and girls, and that sort of work. And there are several other organizations like that. And because of her portfolio of work, while I was working in the UK, lots of global North leaders were reaching out to her. And she's just one person in Kenya. She's always looking for people. She's overwhelmed, right? Because her competence shines so brightly that a lot of work piles up for her. She's always rejecting jobs because it's so much. And I'll be honest with you, the opportunities are bound. Don't let anybody tell you that there are no opportunities, there are no jobs. There are opportunities, there are jobs. Position yourself correctly. I like the book I'm reading, right? The Alchemist. It says that when you want something, the universe conspires to bring that thing to you. So position yourself correctly. Use technology, be strategic, communicate very clearly, learn how to talk. There's nothing like, I don't like talking, so I'm going to do mail. I don't like talking, so I'm going to be at the background. You need to talk. Even if you're not going to be at the forefront of everybody, you need to learn how to communicate. And even part of the communication skills is how to facilitate. Some people just earn a living from facilitation. I hope you know that. You can just be a facilitator in the development sector. Nothing else. All you do is facilitate trainings. It's a career pathway as well. Right? So leadership, you need to be able to lead yourself. And after leading yourself, lead others. Okay. Yes. So I think I've gotten to my last slide and I still have 34 minutes. Good. So basically, the development sector is not a monolith. And I think that's what I led with when I sent the video. Your job is to find where you fit in. You don't fit in everywhere, and that's okay. You're not bread. You're not ice cream. Everybody should not want you. Everybody should not have you. Okay? Your job is to find where you fit and sit there. And you know what? Evolve as much as you can. I mean, when I entered the sector, I was known as a male person. And as I'm evolving, I'm telling people, oh no, don't call me a male person anymore. I'm doing more than that. You understand? I'm evolving, I'm using technology, I'm doing everything. I'm training myself to be relevant every single year, such that there'll never be a time where I am not needed at every point. And I'll tell you something, when I started out in the sector, even, generally, I used to stutter a lot. I wasn't fluent in speaking. I'll be honest with you. 8 years down the line, my stutter disappeared. And no, it's not deliverance. It's not spiritual. You have to learn how to speak. You have to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to position yourself very correctly. Do you understand? Someone wants me to talk a bit about training and facilitation. Yes. So there's a pathway for facilitators and trainers, and the sector is always looking for people whose competence is to facilitate different things, whether you're facilitating about projects or you're facilitating about different thematic areas, maybe climate, anything else. So facilitators are always in demand, and what facilitation needs is how to communicate. Right. So learn it. It's a learned skill. Don't let anybody tell you you're a quiet person. It's not something that you should learn. Yes. Foundations do not apply for grants. They usually have donors. They have private donors. They usually don't apply for a grant. They have donors and they partner with multilaterals, bilaterals, high net worth individuals to get funding. So yes. Let's go to the most important part because I think that's where you sit and that's in questions. But after the questions, we'll come back here, which is a challenge I want you to go away with, right? And it's about finding 2 people after today's session who work in an area you're curious about. Ask them, how did you get started? And if you're already in the sector, if you're simply just transitioning or you want to know more, still ask them, what do you wish you knew before and what's one mistake to avoid? That's today's challenge. So let's go to the questions and comments. Thank you. And over to Mr. Adeyemi to moderate that. Thank you so much, guys.
Wow, 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 wow. That is super great. Thank you so much, Hope, for this insightful session. And interestingly, I see that so many people are actually following. And it's so interesting to also have you answer questions that people do ask me. How do I start? How do I start now? There's answer for it. And all I just have to do is to refer people to this video when they ask me, how do I start? So I don't have answers anymore. You've answered this to a very more in-depth analysis, which you have done. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I can see people saying thank you, giving you emojis, and but before you go, we are also going to have two volunteers to say a brief thank you to you, but we'll do that later. All right, so it's time for questions, and we've asked that you drop your questions. Thank you. Someone said thank you. Your full names, please. We will not. I will not answer. I will not. If you have watched the video, go to our for you to know our full name. We have posted so many things in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, we posted the link for you to watch the video, and we also posted the pre-reads. That means you didn't check your email. We also posted a LinkedIn on the pre-read. Yes. So please go check all of this. Thank you very much for your understanding. Go to our Instagram or LinkedIn to check our full name. And also in the pre-read documents we sent to you, when you click our name, it leads you to our LinkedIn. Then yeah, we'll take it up from there. Can someone, okay. Oh, great. Questions are rolling in already. But this is what we're going to do with the questions. Comfort, I'd like you to start taking or gathering the questions here, the ones that will be posted in the chats. And also for those who are unable to post, who prefers to ask questions verbally, we're going to take your questions. I think we have about 30 minutes to take questions or less. Yeah, so for those who would like to ask questions verbally, please go ahead with with a show of hands. And we want you to be very brief, straight questions. If your question have been answered by the previous question, please do not bother to ask again so that we can give enough time for questions. All right, so we'll begin with Kafi. Kafi, let's know, just tell us a bit about yourself in just 30 seconds, where you are joining us from, and go straight to your question. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you are joining from. Hope you are hearing me well. Yeah, once again, I'm Kafi. My name is Kafi Anur. Thank you so much, Hope, for this insightful session. I have really enjoyed and learned a lot from it. I'm joining from Kakuma Refugee Camp in Kenya, and I'm working with the CBO called Humanity Hands. Basically, we have started it in 2018, and our thematic areas or our main focus, we focus on digital, supporting youth on digital side, and also guide to them and also take them through the mentorship. That is what we do. I have gone through the session keenly, and my question goes like, there's a place she mentioned, Africa's biggest development priorities, whereby she have talk of climate, health, food system, digital transformation, youth employment, and governance, which is very nice, and I really love that. Not forgetting AI as well. But I wanted to ask, my question goes this way: why are people not talking about the conflict and the countries that are really affected, where youth are not able to get the opportunities, and what's happening? These discussions, I don't see them going around. Yes, people are talking about the new technology, the climate change, but forgetting those countries in Africa that are really affected. I'm talking like that because my country is a victim, one of it, and honestly, youth are living always with fear, and there's no these topics that are being discussed. Why is this being left behind? Thank you. That's my question.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Hope, do you want us to take all the questions so we can compress time? Or what works for you? Okay, take all the questions. All right, thank you very much. Someone is applying to be your peer already from the chat box. Okay, all right. So we go to from my screen, we go to Sarah. Over to you, Sarah. Make it brief, please.
Hi, good evening, good morning, good night to all of you. I really enjoyed this session with you, Ma'am Hope. It was the takeaway for me is the passion, like passion alone will only just frustrate me. So I run a community organization in Kenya. So we are registered as a society with the government of Kenya. So on paper, we began as a nonprofit, but that dependence on donor funding has forced us to shift into a social enterprise angle. And so I was curious from when you were classifying the organizations, is it possible to coexist as both a nonprofit and a social enterprise? Because from the social enterprise, we have a farming project that we have begun amongst in other ideas we have for income generation, would be to use those income that we get from the farming project and other businesses to fully fund the sponsorship of girls and empowerment of women and young women in Kenya. So I think when you were saying it, I really wondered, where do we, like, is it possible to coexist? I got a bit confused on now how we exist. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah. Hope the question is clear. Okay, awesome. All right, on my screen, we go to the next person, Mohammed Maulud. Make it brief, please. Thank you. Mohammed, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate it for your time, Hope. Actually, it's the first time I see your face, and it was a wonderful session. So I have a question. I'm Mohammed, by the way, from Kakuma, but currently in Nairobi. So I was working on a solo mission, a campaign I call it to go back to school, where I personally go to each door in my community, Kakuma refugee camp, where I came from, and collect all dropouts, either from elementary school, either from primary, secondary schools, and I myself help them to go back to school. So I myself, I was a dropout in the university level because of financial problem and some things. So I had to go and get fund from families or from my work. And then I have a question. Like someone like me working on a good mission, helping the community. So how does this affect my campaign with no university level? And you mentioned, like, I don't know if it was myth or fact, that you must have a degree level to get a high job or to succeed in your campaigns. So how does this affect my campaign? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I believe that question is well understood. Thank you, Mohammed. Anne, over to you. And while we're waiting for Anne to speak, please, you can go ahead. I see questions in the chat box. Kindly post your questions if you don't feel like speaking. We are collating the questions. Thank you. Over to you, Anne.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity, and also thank you, Ma'am Hope, for the amazing introduction to this. My question will be, you mentioned it's good to actually be good at one specific area, and then after the conversation, you also mentioned it's good to be versant and understand more. My question will be, how or where do we start in actually doing and perfecting one, and then how do we proceed on actually making ourselves be knowledgeable to most of all these things that is required? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Anne, for that question. And we move to the next speaker. Adeleke, over to you.
Thank you very much. Good. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the section, Hope. It was a wonderful one and insightful. I have a bit of a question. Let me just give a background to this. I'm in the medical space, and in our medical space, we do research where I am. And in a while, I wanted to do more program management. So I went into learning how to do project management. So from there, I developed a project for social development. And later on, I discovered that you have a project, but you can't push it because there's no fund. So I'm looking at going into grant writing and funding. So for me now, I've dabbled into quite a lot. How do I, because I want to know where do I come in from? I love to write projects. I love to develop programs on develop projects like that and sit and do that. But was my own need, my challenge was there's no funding for this. So it's better like I was thinking it's best I know how to write the grant, write for the funding, write for all this, rather than just sit on the program. So if you will advise someone like me, what would you say I should do? Do I move to that or do I just maintain the one that is fit at the moment?
Okay, thank you. Faith, I hope that is clear.
Can I request that we have the cluster of questions 5 so that I can
Okay.
respond up? So I have 5. Can I respond?
Oh, you have 5 now. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so for the first one that talked about priorities in Africa, donor priorities, and there was none of it that talked about conflict. And we're all watching the conflict in Congo and different parts of Africa over resources, and recently even in Nigeria or your state as well. So it's looking like it's not a priority. I'll be honest with you. The reason why it's not on the priority list is because a lot of these priority lists, they are shaped by donors and what they want. And these donors are the big corporations and all of that. And because a lot of them are complicit in some of these conflicts, it's really hard for them to say it's a priority area for them. Take, for instance, the conflict in DRC Congo is about resources. Do you understand? And this resource is what the tech giants need to foster their technology. So it's really hard for them to come and say, we want to then ensure conflict resolution. But that does not mean it's not a priority. I'll be honest with you, humanitarian organizations, they focus on conflict resolution. So you have humanitarian organizations like Save the Children, Action Aid, Salvation Army, Red Cross, and the rest of them. They go to those areas. And usually humanitarian organizations, they do not necessarily always announce it that, oh, they are now bringing their mission to a particular area. This is because humanitarian organizations, they work on humanitarian needs. So where the needs are happening. So if you go to Ukraine right now, there are humanitarian assistants there. If you go to Gaza, there are humanitarian assistants there. They go to conflict-prone zones, conflict areas. They provide as much assistance as they can. But I can also tell you that in Africa, it's quite minimal because there's a lot of war and conflict going on globally now, and resources are thin because a lot of governments have pulled funding. So it does exist, but I'll say in the area of conflict, Africa is not a priority to them. And that's a shame. And that brings us to the point where we start having to ensure that we look within Africa for resources. Right. So one thing to take out from this session is not that how will I apply for global grants? How will I be grantable? No, how do we ensure that we look for our own resources as Africans to solve our own problems? Okay, that's a key takeaway for me here. So the second one, and I hope I really answered your question. I'm a bit pressed for time. So shift from NGOs to social enterprises. You want to know if you can act as both. So in Nigeria, I don't know what the case is in Kenya. If you're a social enterprise, you're registered differently from when you're an NGO. Do you understand? Because you're making money from the social enterprise. Usually social enterprises are registered as private companies for profit, while NGOs are not for profit. And so there are different registrations. So in terms of compliance level, you have to be registered differently. So I don't know if it's the same compliance requirement in Kenya. But one thing to spotlight is that the funding pathway is different. there are a lot of funding that is not available to NGOs that might be available for social enterprises because they know that you have a funding model and you're not dependent on them, right? There's also some funding available to only NGOs. You have to be registered as an NGO. So I know an organization that is a for-profit company that is doing trainings in international development, but they have another registration that is strictly NGO where they can access NGO kind of funding. So I hope that answers your question because the funding pathway is different. Most organizations will register them differently. It doesn't change anything. It just means that you're able to access the different funding pathways. Then the third one is Malud. I'm sorry if I'm not able to get your name, but you talked about your personal mission in trying to contribute to ending school dropout rates. I commend you for that. Well done. It's such a noble mission. And no, not having a university degree does not mean that you can't do that job. If that was implied in the way I gave my explanation, that's not the case. I think what I was trying to say is that there are a lot of opportunities, especially when you get into these bigger organizations, that a basic requirement is a BSc. Do you understand? It's not because the experience is not there or the trajectory is not there. A lot of leadership roles comes with having at least the basic educational qualification. So for you that is on the field doing your thing, ensuring that you're contributing to your community, it doesn't stop your mission. In fact, you can even eventually register it to become, an NGO or a social enterprise or whatever it is. It doesn't stop you at all, right? It can become as big as some of the named organizations that we have right here. It doesn't stop it. It's just when you're applying to certain roles, they set a basic requirement. So please don't let the educational qualification stop you from doing your personal mission. Then for the fourth question, say, how do you perfect being good in one thing and then, knowing a lot? So I'll use myself as an example. When I started out in the sector, I was hyper focused on M&E. I did not even want to know much about the other pathways. And I think it's a personality thing for me. When I want something, I just zoom in on it so I know it fully and all of that. And after a while, I realized that even that role I was focused on cannot effectively work well in silo. So even a male person cannot work in silo of a project manager. I can't work in silo of a grant person because the person needs to know how much M&E costs. I can't work in silo from a comms person because the person will collect data from me to publish anyway. Do you understand? So the reason why I'm asking you to be adaptable and flexible is that the development sector, sometimes you are asked to do things that are not necessarily in your job geography. Do you understand? For instance, I'm facilitating this session. There's no place in MEL that talks about you must facilitate a session, but I built my capacity in that area and now I can do it. Do you understand? So in perfecting a skill, it's not a call to ignore everything else. It's a call to have something that you're excellent at. Do you understand? And something else I mentioned earlier that ties really well to it is the fact that the sector is dynamic. You can't afford to be a straitjacket, right? I'm not asking you to be master of none, jack of all trade. You know your onions when it comes to grant writing and fundraising, but it doesn't mean that you can't facilitate or communicate effectively. These are transferable skills that if at any point you're tired of doing any of those things, you can easily use it to do other things, even if it's not even in the development sector. So you zoom in to get exactly what you want to do with your career, right? Because at the end of the day, it's that one thing you choose that will help you to know what your growth trajectory is likely going to look like. But then, excuse me, but then you zoom out so that you're not in a silo because you can't work in silos within the sector. And the last question, talking about, being in the medical space and wanting to do something. Being in the medical space, there are lots of opportunities. There Doctors Without Borders and the Gates Foundation, their core focus is on health, right? There are several NGOs that they are INGOs and all of that their core grant is for health. So if you're looking for funding, you should look to those kind of organizations. They always have funding for health-related things. But if your program or project is not about health and it's just something else and you're looking for funding, one thing I would advise at this stage, sometimes you can't do everything, right? Do you have a group of friends that you guys can come together to say, okay, this is something I want to do in this community. Let's do it together. I have a friend that she started distributing food on her birthday. She just wanted to distribute food. She called it, she wanted people to smile and all of that. So she distributed food in one of the communities in Nigeria, Makoko, and all of that. But then it became a thing. People are like, oh, please, the next time you are distributing food, I would like to put some money. I would like to assist with logistics. So it became a thing where there's even a call, okay, we are doing this at this time. If you have money, please donate to this account and all of that. And people, even myself, I've also donated in the past as well because it was something that resonated with me. So don't feel the urge to do missions alone, even for Malud. Don't feel the urge to do these things alone. You've helped people to go back to school. Call them to also help others as well. That's you paying it forward. A question I wanted to ask the medical guy, is it registered? If it's not registered and you're just going on vibes, I mean, you go on vibes for a long time. So this is the stage where you start putting structures. If you want to go that route, right, start putting structures, start knowing what it entails, because a lot of people will not give money to personal account. They'll tell you, where's the NGO account? Just so they know that you're not using the money for other things. I hope that answers the 5 questions first. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Adeyemi. Okay. And yeah, if it's not registered, start thinking of ways to put some structures to it. Call some friends together. Don't feel the need to carry that burden alone. Okay. Yes, Mr. Adeyemi, please. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, yeah. So thank you for that. And I think that's very great. Great question. So we move to Tom. Or before we do that, I think we have some questions. Okay, we come back to the ones that are posted in the chat. Comfort, please attend to the message. So a quick one. Tom, over to you. And after Tom, we have Mordecai.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, Hope, for this wonderful session. We really enjoyed it and it is indicative. Well done. I have, as you said about Africa's biggest development priorities, you mentioned AI, you mentioned climate, health, youth employment, and food systems. It's very interesting, as most of us here are also, let me say, we are newbies in the development sectors, and most people are also becoming founders. And I would like to know, what advice do you have for founders who want to work in the development sector and solve one of the Africa's biggest development priorities? And you mentioned that we don't need a degree to work in the development sector. What skills should a founder have? Because I believe I myself am a founder, but I've never worked in the development sector before. But you also today, it is shocking, but it is a sad reality that passion will never drive you. You need a skill to thrive. You need to be competent to make impact. I'm a student. I've just graduated, let me say, but I want to work in the development sector. Just like you, as your story was, you mentioned working somewhere, but you want to venture into the development sector. And you sat down, you calculated your moves and steps, and now you are here giving us this session. So what advice do you have for young founders who have seen problems in their communities and they want to solve? Because by luck or by passion, or let me say, they will find themselves in the development sector. So, what advice do you have for us, and what skill can we have to establish sustainable organization. Thank you. I'm from South Sudan.
Okay, thank you very much. I was about asking that, where are you from? Hope, is that clear? Okay, awesome. All right, so thank you very much, Tom, for that question. We go to Arok. Over to you, Arok. Oh, sorry, Mordecai. Mordecai, I mentioned Mordecai, please. Mordecai, we'll go to you first before Arok.
Okay, thank you. I lowered my hand because I thought I was straight going to speak. Yeah, thank you for the chance. I'm Mordecai Ahmed. Yeah, allow me to go just straight to the point because of time and so on. Yeah, our facilitator, Hope, mentioned, I think I could say that she very well keen on the message of passion and fitness. And I was wondering if this opportunity we have now at the moment is sufficient for our entry into development sectors. And if it is not sufficient enough, I don't know if she could have other alternatives or suggestions so that we can upgrade our abilities, our skills, and our capabilities. Thank you.
All right, thank you very
done.
much. Okay, thank you very much. Hope, is that clear? Can we go to the next person? Okay, thank you. Arok, over to you. Then we move to the questions on the chat box.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Madam Hope. You have presented an incredible presentation. Am I audible? Oh, thank you. My name is Biordeng Arok. I'm from Kakuma refugee camp. I'm here to ask a question, and this question is based on the degree I'm currently pursuing, which is Bachelor of Art in Sustainable Development. And when you were presenting, I was just viewing myself in your presentation. I did monitoring and evaluation as one of the course in my degree, and I also did social research method, organization, behavior management, and all these things. Every new course, it changed my passion. It changed my shift. So I find myself stuck, and my passion was monitoring and evaluation. And there are some of the tools like SPSS. I find it was quite challenging. It was broad, and I was just requesting if there are other online where I can develop this field, because this is the area I'm passionate about. I have interacted with data. I have also interacted with interviews, but data analysis is where I have issue with. So if there are some of the data management tools or data analysis tools that are advanced and are accessible, I will be very happy if you can recommend. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Arok. So we hand over to Hope to answer these questions. We have a lot of questions in the chat box, but Hope will need to leave very shortly, and she's agreed to answer those questions while we post those questions in the WhatsApp group. I mean, we post the answers in the WhatsApp group. All right, over to you, Hope. Thank you so much for agreeing to do that. Over to you, Hope.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys, that I can't stay longer. I'm actually enjoying the question answer time. And I think Mr. Adeyemi has plans to bring me again, so we could explore that. So for the founder from South Sudan who is interested in one of Africa's priority to solve one of the problems, you're asking what skill and all of that. So for young founders like you, I might be old school, but I would say that instead of going all the way 2 legs in deep, why don't you volunteer? Can you volunteer in a structured place to learn, even if it's just a month? By volunteering, sometimes you can volunteer for just a week and you sort of learn the structures. The reason why I say that is, as young people, we're always passionate about doing things. And even on this call, there are a lot of you that you've seen, things in your community that you want to be better, whether you want to reduce school dropout rates or there's a social project that you're just interested in. Now, that in itself is raw passion. You need passion to even get that enthusiasm to start in the first place. But it's not sustainable because, as you found, you need money, you need people. Do you understand? And so that's where learning the structure starts. And when you talk about skills to learn and all of that, I just wrote here, one of the answers to all the questions for this second part of the Q&A session is the best knowledge you can get is experiential. No matter how you go into courses, and I'm talking from my experience, somebody else may differ from that, but no matter how many courses you do, if you're not actively using that experience, you just keep amassing certifications. And I don't want that for you guys, right? You just keep amassing certifications. One thing I'm grateful for is probably that nobody told me about the development sector. Otherwise, I would have gone ahead to get all the certifications in the world and just keep amassing them and all of that. But instead, learning from that internship, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, because that internship, the way it was structured, you are exposed to the different parts, you are exposed to program, you are exposed to admin and logistics, you are exposed to everything. But once that exposure came, I knew that the rest of the other parts, I wouldn't thrive in them. So I decided to just focus on M&A. So for the founder and other founders that have said that's the question that is nagging at them and they really want answers to, please, if there's an opportunity to volunteer in a structured organization, whether it's a CBO, whether it's a social enterprise that you know of, even some people on this call, they're in the same country, the same region with you, they already have existing NGOs, you can volunteer with them just to understand what that structuring looks like. If you don't know that structure, you burn out early. It's just the gospel truth. I don't know how else to explain it. So instead of recommending go and take this training, and yes, I would send a couple of recommended trainings to Mr. Adeyemi, specific trainings, M&E, project management, general leadership. I'll send all of that to him to send to you guys. But instead of pursuing all of that first, get into the sector first, and then you will be able to know what those gaps are. Okay, I'm interested in M&E. This is how it looks like, but I need knowledge of SPSS, because the other question was that you already have a degree and part of the courses you took was M&E and it's still overwhelming for you, right? Imagine if you're on the field and you've collected data, it would be a different conversation from when you learned it in class. I mean, the trainings I've learned, right? They've told me to use SPSS and all of that. Between us on this call, I've done M&E for how many years? I've never used SPSS. I've never used it. I'll be honest with you. I learned how to use Power BI. I barely use Power BI because there are several other tools. Several. If you're able to manipulate Microsoft, you can use it to calculate, can use it to do your data analysis, so many things. So I honestly don't bother about those big tools. Although if they ask me if I'm proficient in them, yes, I am, because I learned it. If you bring it here and say, this is a tool we use in an organization, make it compulsory, I'll use it for you. But left for me, there are so many other tools. So I don't want you to think, oh, it's because I don't have the knowledge of SPSS or Power BI. That's why I'm not in mail. That is something that you should remove from your mind. Okay. So that's for yeah. Yeah, for the other person that asked if this program is sufficient to enter, which other program do you want to be sufficient? That's my question for you. If this program is not sufficient to enter into the development sector, which other program is really sufficient? Because I feel like, I mean, just reading through everything, even when I was putting the slides together, I'm like, man, I wish I had this type of training. I probably would not wait that much to even get into the sector. So yes, it's sufficient. And like I said, you, you need visibility, right? In terms of going on LinkedIn, when you get your certification, even before the whole thing ends, you've learned about this whole thing week 1. Go on, write about your experience, put at the end that you are exploring internship and volunteering opportunities. If there are open, please, they should reach out to you. This is your email and all of that. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. And the person that asked to be my PA, maybe it's God connecting us, because I've been thinking of getting one. So maybe it's also an opportunity as well. Put yourself out there, okay? Yeah, so I'm sorry I can't take more questions. There's a question I saw on the chat that I really want to answer, and it's about the stuttering thing. I started stuttering from 5 years old, right? Because of, I mean, a wrong vaccine or something. I can't remember. Stories our parents tell us, right? But it persisted all through secondary school. I couldn't really talk well. I mean, not because I couldn't talk well, but I was just ashamed of talking. So people would say I'm stuttering and all of that. But after a while, I made a decision to actually help myself. And this is what I did. I don't know if it worked for everybody, but I started reading aloud every day for 30 minutes to myself. I read aloud. If I can't, if I don't like the way I sound, I read it again. If I don't like the way I sound, I read it again. I keep talking to myself. And after a while, I found that I could actually communicate better. So I feel like a bit of stuttering is psychological. That's my personal opinion. A bit of it is psychological. You know, you've been laughed at before because you stuttered. And so why would you even want to talk again? So please, if that is your case, or you're just scared of talking in public generally, you don't like how you sound, it's a good motivation to learn how to talk. Start with talking to yourself out loud. Okay? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Hope. A lot to talk about. And I know you wanted to speak to a slide before the last one. I'm not sure you're able to take that again
I
because
will
of the
send
time.
it. It's actually their weekly, what's it called? Yeah,
It's
something
going to
for them
be
to
an
compare.
assignment for them.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll send it.
Yes.
I'll send it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Guys, can we put our hands together? Oh, before you go, we have 2 persons who would give a vote of thanks. I am selecting one person because of what she sent to me during the session. And the other person should probably just volunteer by raising his or her hand. The first person to volunteer would be the okay, good. Elias. I'm going with Elias. But before we go ahead, Sarah, is this Sarah? No, Grace. Grace, please go ahead, give a vote of thanks on behalf of the cohort 2 class to our facilitator. Over to you, Grace.
Okay. Am I audible?
Very audible.
Okay. My vote of thanks is going to be on behalf of the class, but I would make it a little bit personal to me. When I saw the flyer on Mr. Adeyemi's page, I registered and I didn't even expect to be picked because I know nothing about the development sector. But I personally want to say a very big thank you to our facilitator today, Ms. Hope. Her words made me realize that I'm taking the wrong approach in entering the social development sector. I came purely with passion. When I filled the form, I'm going for eradication of poverty and public awareness on diabetes because of my dad specifically. Unfortunately, I lost him 2 weeks ago. And from her section today, I realized that I was just going with pure passion and I would have not made any headway at all in the social development sector. So now I am rechanneling myself into, if possible, interning first, working with other people before establishing anything for myself, if I would ever do that. So thank you so much for today's section. Very easy to understand. I actually took a lot of lessons, and I'm sure people on the call also took a lot of lessons back, especially because of the questions that were asked. Thank you so much, Ma, for your time and efforts today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that the session was impactful. Thank you, Mr. Adeyemi. Thank you to everybody. The session was very interactive, and I really honestly appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so thank you. We take one more person, Elias.
Thank you, Mr. Adeyemi, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Let me begin by saying, Ms. Hope, your session has really left me profoundly touched. I'm yet to recover from what I've learned today. Well, I would say for me it has been a challenge, but also what caught me is your passion for the development sector. And being an African, I know when the question of conflict really came up, you are able to answer it quite well and ground it within our context. Another thing that has really enthralled me is how you grounded this session into. It was very practical, very simple, yet at the same time it was very transformational. I know I've gone through a couple of trainings online, but this one exceeds them all. Thank you so much for your passion once again, and also for feeding into us your insights and your wisdom. I can really confirm, as Mr. Saba has been saying, you're an encyclopedia of wisdom. I've also bought your book, and I'm convinced that it's the best decision that I've made to read it. And while I look forward into my passion is in training and development, and I believe that is aligned with the development sector. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeyemi, for this opportunity once again, and thank you for being available for tonight's session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elias. And I forgot my condolences to you, Grace. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you, Mr. Elias. Thank you to everyone that has bought the book. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. And one of my greatest joys is being able to use my story to impact people, to ensure they don't make the mistakes I made, but just to make their lives better. And what more way to describe what the development sector if your life is not actually making people's lives better, creating opportunities for them and helping them live better lives. So thank you guys. And I really hope I see you guys in the development space as colleagues this time. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank
For
you
those
so
that
much.
can buy
Okay.
the book.
Hello,
Sorry, I just saw
hello.
something.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, please. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah.
sorry to apologize. Hope, please, before you go, in Kenya we use different banks, and we were trying to buy those in Kakuma on some of our friends in Nairobi. We were trying to buy the book, but it was not even responding. Please, is there any other way we can get the copy, please? I'm very sorry to cut off.
No, it's okay. Mr. Adeyemi sent me the same thing, and I've been getting notifications. I will troubleshoot on my end, and I would send the message to Mr. Adeyemi on alternative ways to get the book. Thank you so much. And for Jacob, don't worry, Mr. Adeyemi will reach out to you about being the PA. We'll talk about that, okay? Thank you, guys. I need to go. Thank you. Take care, guys.
So we need to release it. Thank you so much, Hope. And guys, please let's say thank you again with our emojis. All right, so guys, we need to close or shut down in 15 minutes, but we have a couple of housekeeping information. Number one, if you have not gotten the book and you probably don't have issue getting the book, please get the book. The book is sold at 50% discount because of support, Hope supports for every one of us on this call. So please jump on it. Jump on it. It is a resource. It is not expensive to invest on yourself. Please invest on yourself, guys. Yeah, and this is probably less than $10. Yeah, it's way less than $10 that you are using to invest on yourself. Of $3. Thank you. It's about $3. So what are we talking about here? Please, let's invest on ourselves. It's very important. For those who want to, or those who have signed up for their interest group in MEL, Hope will be coming back for that. I know others will be saying, I want to join. You are not joining. We are going to fix you on that same unit or area of interest. We are going to have more facilitators, and you see the reasons why you don't have to run to Hope interest group by the time we have our mentorship day. All right. And number two, I'd like to appreciate every one of us for staying this long. It really shows that we are really interested in this. And for the fact that it is pro bono, you probably still take your time. You took your time to listen. We have lots of questions posted in the chat group, which we will definitely send to Hope, and she will respond and will send to you. Hope had mentioned that we can share slides. Typically, we don't share slides. The reason why we don't share slides is because there's a psyche about those who are joining that they will say, oh, I'm going to get a slide later. We do not send slides, but we will send up slide. Other slide we will not send. But how do we help you to go back again to learn? This session is going to be uploaded on our YouTube page, where you are able to go to YouTube to watch over and over again. And after 1 month, we will make it private. You won't have access to it again. So you have a whole 1 month to go back to relearn, unlearn, relearn, and learn again. That is number one. Number two, for the attendance have been posted as a sign-out attendance. The only people that will get this slide will be those who sign out. Please do not share the slide with anybody in the group. We are going to start pulling people out from the group after the first week. We give you the grace for this week. We have over 200 people in the group, but we only have less than 130 join. So we'll start weeding people out. We'll weed people out from the second week. You will just wake up and you won't see yourself in the WhatsApp group again. That's the idea. It's going to be like rapture. You wake up, you won't see yourself. That's what we are doing. If you had paid $2,500, you would definitely want to be here. And like I said, I'm also losing on a lot of area myself, things to be paid for today. I've moved everything away for the next 8 weeks. Okay, so I thought to mention that. So the link is there already. Please ensure you fill the link to sign out. Okay, when you sign out, that is when you will get the slide. And also, before you also get the slide as well, we are also going to ensure that we drop a discussion on the group. That discussion is what we have on that last page where Hope expect every one of us to engage. So we are going to drive that as an engagement in the WhatsApp group. That is number two. Okay, I'm going to take your question. Don't worry, Tom. We've posted the attendance, participants in. Okay, so we said that the engagement as well. We send that. We only send the slide to those who probably sign out in the attendance. I'd mentioned that. And also, guys, to make it very interesting, we have movies that we're going to watch every week where we discuss these movies in the WhatsApp group as well. So let's look forward to the post from Comfort. I think Comfort is doing amazing work. Can we probably just do an emoji to clap and appreciate? She's doing an amazing work to manage over 200 people. It's not really that easy. And okay, so Hope had mentioned something about LinkedIn. I take advantage of LinkedIn a lot. Some people, their LinkedIn is as dead as nothing. Yeah, so someone told them I'm looking for a job. I hear on LinkedIn, oh yes, I've never posted before. I was like, the first thing I look at is how active are you? LinkedIn helps you to build that social capital. That's number one. Number two, some people, people have been sending LinkedIn messages to me. Unfortunately, they don't have picture. I don't accept it. No identity. Yeah. Some people also would send. So it's very funny. You say you're looking for a job, but your LinkedIn is faceless. Nobody will definitely want to accept it. Lots of those requests have not accepted. So go back to your LinkedIn, go take good portraits and post it for your profile picture, which is a very good one. I'm rushing because we need to close shortly. And also the next thing again is this, your experience, what you've learned today, don't let it just stop in what you'll be sharing as experience in the WhatsApp group. Come on, write something, post it on LinkedIn, tag VS, tag me, Amadi Emi Asaba, follow Hope. By now, we should know our full name. If we don't know our full name, like I said, go back to our WhatsApp page, or whatever we have posted on WhatsApp, and also go back to the video we posted on Instagram. And also go ahead on Instagram, follow us. We'll repost whatever you post about your experience. Okay? So imagine we have over 100 people on this group and we have 100 of you followers on Instagram. You are able to have access to information from us. So it's very interesting. I don't know, what do we do? Can someone help us to post our Instagram link on this page as well? Probably you post it on the WhatsApp so that people get to follow as well too. I see Terry at some points posted a page on LinkedIn on the group. Terry, you can help post it again. Yeah, so that post can be on the group on WhatsApp and also the same Instagram page as well, so that people can get to follow. All I want to see from tonight, immediately we are done, is you just go post your experience. What has happened to you? What has changed about you on LinkedIn? You can probably do a short video, just 1 minute video, and post it on your Instagram or on your LinkedIn, on your Instagram, on LinkedIn. I promise you that we will repost it on LinkedIn, and also we are going to reshare on Instagram. What you learned, just do it almost immediately when we are done with this. Just post it, what you have learned so far. I think that will be all for now. I'll probably take Tom. Tom, you have a question. Elizabeth, you have a question. Can we do this in 2 minutes for two of you?
Yeah.
Tom, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. What I would like to know is some of us cannot afford to buy the books on seller. Is it going to affect our participation in the program?
That is not going to affect your participation, not at all. Yeah, but maybe at some point we would choose a day for those who are bought to tell us what they have read. I think that's also great on the WhatsApp group. That would help as well too. But please, all the pre-reads that have been sent to us, all the pre-reads, ensure you read those articles. Hope wrote those articles. They are profound articles. Like I said, knowledge is very important. Thank you very much. Elizabeth, over to you. Elizabeth, you wanted to ask the question? Please unmute. Yeah.
Okay.
Unmute, Elizabeth, we can't hear you. Elizabeth, unmute yourself if you can. Oops. All right, Elizabeth, I'm sorry, we have to take somebody else.
Okay. I'm back.
Okay.
Yes. You were giving announcements on signing out. I couldn't get you well. So I wanted to cover it.
Okay, I'll go over it. There's a link that has been posted. This link will not be posted in the WhatsApp group. So it's a sign out link as for attendance. You would only get the PowerPoint presentation if you sign out. If you don't sign out, we won't send it to you. That's number one. Please unmute whoever is not muted. Let's always learn to mute ourselves. Let's learn to mute ourselves. Oh my God. Who is this person? Okay, yeah. So as I was saying, the attendance link has been posted. Comfort, if you need to pin it, please pin it so that people can see it. We are not going to post it in the WhatsApp group. And I know that you know why we are not posting it, because we are only going to post it for those who completed this session today. All right, any other question? Okay. I don't know how to pronounce your name, please. But please go ahead. Your hand is up. Please pronounce the name. I don't want to mess around with your name. Your hand is up. Can you ask the question? I don't know if it's CLYDES. Oh, please go ahead. Please, how do you pronounce your name?
Lyson.
Okay. Lyson, okay.
Yes, sir. So, my question is this. For those of us that couldn't get that 50% discount on that book, I'm ready to get within this night. Can the discount made available appeal to
Oh, the discount is still active. Yeah, the discount is still active. Yes, and we are going to ask Hope if it's possible for her to extend it to third week of this training. Yeah.
Okay, and also I would love to get the flyer because my Instagram and just got frozen, so I couldn't
Okay.
access the Instagram mode. I would love to get the flight of this so I can optimize my LinkedIn profile today.
Okay. Yeah. So go to the WhatsApp group. Terry has posted the socials, our LinkedIn and our Instagram. Yeah. And I'll
Thank
be
you, sir.
very glad if I can see 50% of the class post your experience tonight. Okay, a short video or just write up. Then for the Instagram, you can do a short video. If you don't want to do a short video, do a write up and put the flyer to just write about it. But a short video will be good. We have to start putting ourselves there. There's something that is called digital footprint. That is what you are doing. You are putting yourself out there, digital footprint. I'll take Ruth. Yeah, Ruth, your question.
Thank you so much, sir. I really
You're welcome.
appreciate you. It has been a very insightful session. So my question is around social media privacy. Is
Yeah.
it allowed for someone to force a screenshot of the session? Let's say if you're having a short post on LinkedIn or blog about the session. Yes. Is it allowed for someone to do so?
Okay, yeah, I would say yes, because for everyone to have accepted to be part of this, we had mentioned videos, we have mentioned all of those. Yeah, already we are not encroaching on your privacy. It's part of, you are accepting to be part of this, and anyone can go ahead to screenshot as well. If you don't want to post a video, say of your experience, some people might probably say, this is what I want to do is just to screenshot and write about my experience. That is also a very good one. Someone says, what is happening with the link? Comfort, please fix the link. People are talking about the link. It's not accepting. Please make it accessible. All right, so we are still going to fix that. I would probably extend our stay here to the next 5 minutes while we fix it. I don't want us to leave here without fixing, and I don't want anyone to use that as an excuse for not. Okay, so Karen, over to you. We still have 5 minutes or 6 minutes more. Karen, over to you, your question.
Thank you, sir. Just to seek clarification, now for some of us, this is our first time in development sector and all those things we are learning. And in the basement form or even on the link that was sent, can you change your preferment program, your preferment specialization? Because there were 4. Can you change it now that you have more knowledge?
You cannot change it still. And I will refer to what Terry had mentioned. Terry said this when we had our onboarding, that if we have to say you should change, I bet you 90% of people on this call would change to M&E. But there is more to the not-for-profit sector. So I advise that let's stay with what we have filled. We had mentioned that on the WhatsApp group, on our WhatsApp group, you can always, Claudia is laughing because she started this conversation on Tuesday. You can always have conversation. So on the day of the mentorship, when we are done, you guys can ask questions. Oh, this is what I gained from the mentorship class in my unit. You list it, and Farouk will come and say, "Oh, this is what I learned." Delaya will say, "In my own, it was communication. That is what we call shared learning." We would not allow you to move. If we allow you to move, this is not football club that will be doing transfers. There is no transfer in this academy. Thank you very much. No transfer. Karen, I hope that is clear.
It's okay. I really wanted to change the program management, but it's fine.
By the time we move to the next session next week, somebody will say, "Oh, so can I move now? I want to move to this session now." I tell you for real, all our facilitators are awesome. Oh, thank you. No leave, no transfer. Yes, no leave, no transfer. I was trying to remember that phrase. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Do you have any other question? Terry, question from you. Okay. Terry, over to you. We can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear, so I believe others can hear.
Okay. So I know Hope mentioned something about she knows someone that does this thing, like an individual. The person does this running of program without maybe a company. So is it possible for people on this call or maybe in the squad probably start up something of their own without necessarily joining a company, but just receiving funding, maybe learning how to write grants and everything, and pitching it to companies that would help them to facilitate some programs they are doing, especially people that lives in Kakuma. So I don't know if that is possible, if it's possible. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think I have an answer to that. Thank you very much, Terry. The lady Hope mentioned that is in Kenya, Nairobi to be specific. She is a consultant. Yeah, so she doesn't have a registered company, but she's an authority. And the reason why she's of or she's sought after is because as space, what she does, very few people does it. As a matter of fact, that same lady, the same organization needed someone to do something in Rwanda, but they couldn't get anybody. So they had to fly her from Nairobi to Rwanda. So she is an authority. She doesn't need to have a registered company. Yeah. Except if she now wants to start putting structures together. Or say, for instance, someone says, we're not going to engage you, we don't have a registered complaint. Even with UN, there are consultants that work for UN that do not have a registered complaint. But what is most important is that the person is an authority. And that's the reason why I would tell people that whatever niche you find yourself, build that niche to the highest. Make sure that you are most sought after. Make sure that when they mention the first top people, you are part of it. And how does that work? Skills. You have to ensure that you are updated. You keep updating your skills over and over again. Someone said, how about those who had already filled a sign-out form? Sorry, I'm trying to get the question. How about the question just unfortunately I didn't get that again. Someone said I am definitely going into grant writing. Okay, so you can check that chat here. You can also put that chat in the WhatsApp group, please, if you want others to get that information. So one more time, before I sign out, did I just see someone's hand? Terry. Okay, Terry, are you still there? Okay, no, you. Okay, you can put down your hand. Karen, please put down your hand. Elizabeth, did I see your hand a moment ago? Okay, no, right? All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So on the final note again, have we fixed Comfort? Can you confirm if we have fixed the attendance? We are currently facing technical issue. What did you say?
Yes, we are facing a technical issue. So for the meantime, those who are not able to fill it should just type in their phone names in the chat.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. Please, guys, let's type our names for those who couldn't fill the form. We'll probably just we would conclude or probably regularize that on our end. Please, program design, kindly connect with me on WhatsApp or LinkedIn. Awesome. 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 This is Kesiana speaking now. Kesiana, you can go back to WhatsApp group to post it as well, so that people can reach out to you. Like I mentioned, please try follow us on our Instagram page. It does not cost anything to follow an organization that would make information available to you. We don't have to be Burna Boy. We know those entertainers we follow. And I mentioned this on Tuesday that you should be following those who definitely will provide the knowledge to you, not just following people for following sake. Follow, for instance, follow LinkedIn. Follow us on LinkedIn as well. Follow her on our LinkedIn. Follow her on our Instagram. These are the things that we should be doing on this group, and start following yourself as well. For those who have started building relationship with people. Yeah. So on the final note, I'm saying a very big thank you to you guys for staying here till 3 hours. Okay, Sarah, in 1 minute. 1 minute. Sarah, 1 minute, please.
I wanted to ask kindly if you got the name of the lady in Kenya. The one that.
Okay. Okay. So can you chat me personally on WhatsApp?
Okay.
Or reach out
All
to
right.
Comfort? Yeah. We will definitely get the name across to you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. On behalf of everyone, I mean you. I can't call all the names. I can see Mohammed. I can see lots of names. Delayo. I can see Ruth. I can see Farouk. I can see everybody. I'm saying thank you for sitting for 3 hours. 3 hours of not wasting your time. 3 hours of not watching movies. 3 hours of not watching World Cup. Someone mentioned that I was going to miss the World Cup. 3 hours because you can always go back to do the rewatch. 3 hours of investing in yourself. So thank you guys for joining, and we look forward to meeting us again. Class opens again next week. Please can you mute yourself? Class open again next week, Saturday. However, the WhatsApp group is open for conversations. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful evening and a great weekend. Bye. Oh, Elizabeth. Like I said, I can't mention everybody's name. Elizabeth, everybody. Thank you, guys. And I hope Comfort, you are able to capture the names of the people here. Is there any assignment for the week? Oh, yes. One of the assignments is part of what Hope had mentioned that we are going to share with you. We will not share this. Like I mentioned to you, we are not going to share the slide until we have everybody fill the attendance, which I think Comfort is sorting that out. All right. So the assignments will be posted shortly. The movie will be posted shortly as well. And if I were you, let's start engagement on the WhatsApp group on what you learned tonight. Let's drive that conversation right away in the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful night. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So much.